WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, an Odyssey sports station. Evan Roberts. Tiki Barber. It's Evan and Tiki on WFAN, The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Yo, happy Monday. We have a Super Bowl, and it sucks. We'll talk all about it over the next 4 hours plus. It is Evan and Tiki on this beautiful Monday with gorgeous snow on the ground, and I must admit, I wanted to come to work. I don't like doing shows from home, but there is one reason I stayed home, Tiki.
What's that?
To piss off Boomer Esiason.
100%. Those Luddites don't realize that technology exists and make us sound like we're sitting right next to one another. And if they have a problem with it, tough.
Yeah. Tiki's like, you're dead to me if you got a problem with that. We got good football over the weekend. We'll start there. The games were wildly entertaining. And I don't know if you felt this way, Tiki, but while I was watching the AFC Championship game, all I could think of was Sean Morash. Because when the weather turned in the second half, and I thought they did a really good job of showing us how insane it was that the weather turned the way it did, because it started off like a beautiful day, and then by the fourth quarter, they've got to put digital yard markers up to see it. All I could think about is how this game was incredibly affected by the weather, and I found it insanely entertaining. But I had Sean's voice in my head. This sucks. This isn't real football. This isn't the way a championship should be determined. And, I get it, even though I disagree, because there's no question. In the second half of this game,
right,
that was a slop. Now, I found it entertaining, Teak, but it was insanity what we witnessed in the last quarter and a half of this game.
You know what? I would agree with you, Evan, because I love weather as a character. I think it makes you focus in a way that you just haven't had to throughout in a regular game where there is no weather. And I would have held that same thought, that same opinion, if I hadn't watched the NFC Championship game right after, because that was one of the most beautiful, well-executed, play-called game that I've ever seen. Hell, even the broadcast was outstanding. Tom Brady was fantastic with Burkhardt. So if I hadn't seen the NFC Championship game right afterwards, I would have agreed with you. But thinking back on that AFC second half, the New England Patriots go down on that 16-play drive, score the only points in the second half, and then the Denver Broncos run 18 plays. 18 plays the entire second half. And it was just ugly. It was in and out. It was cool from a visual standpoint, but the football, I missed it. We saw in the first half with the big throw from Jarrett Stidham to Marvin Mims, and it was like, man, we might have some scoring in this game. There could be some explosive plays. You were just waiting for Drake May to do it, but we know how Mike Vrabel is. He's old school, just like Bill Belichick was old school. If we only have to score 10 points to win, guess what? We're scoring 10 points, and we're going to win. So it got ugly in comparison to what I watched about 2 hours later.
You're 1,000% right. It was like two different sports. No question about it. And I know my fandom is going to affect what I'm about to say, but I'm also trying to be fair when I say this. Because obviously, as a Jet fan, I am bitter and angry that the New England Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl. I congratulate them. They won it. They earned it. God bless them. But I'm bitter. The only thing, if you can take away that fandom I just expressed that was missing from this game, is that it felt like the Patriots had an unfair advantage that they earned by having the lead when the weather turned.
Right.
Because that field goal
right after their field goal.
Absolutely. So what I would have loved, and we may still have been playing, by the way, if this was the case, is for it to have been a tie game with both teams dealing with the same insane conditions. But because the Patriots had taken the lead with about 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, which is right around the time the weather started to change in a dramatic way, they were playing with a lead. And so, not that it's an unfair advantage, because they earned the lead, and I give them credit. And the Broncos, which we will get into, and Sean Payton, which we will get into, made mistakes that led to that. But that was the only part of the last quarter and a half that felt, that the Broncos were playing from behind in a game in which it looked like nobody was going to be able to score.
Right.
So it would have been great if the game was tied. Like, if they would have made that field goal that got tipped, of course, by the former Jet, Leonard Taylor. Of course, it's a former Jet. Then it would have felt like, this is awesome. They're on ice skates, and it's even. But because they had the lead, it was like, I don't know. That's the only negative. Putting fandom aside, I'm trying to. That kind of bothered me about the weather conditions in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, I hear you because, I mentioned that the Denver Broncos only ran 16 plays or 18 plays. But after that first drive where they had 16 plays, the New England Patriots basically ran 16 plays too.
Right.
So once the weather started, it became a modern football game. It became a 1960s football game where you were just trying not to make mistakes. You're going to run the ball or just going to throw short and take no chances at all. And that played right into the victory for the New England Patriots. But you're right. I think there was if it would have been on a level playing ground score-wise, then it would have been really interesting to see the aggression with which each of these teams would have played with. It didn't turn out that way, though.
I'll make you this prediction that we'll never know the answer to, so it's easy for me to do it. If they were tied playing in those weather conditions, the game would have ended on a defensive score. That's how the game would have finally ended. There would have been one big mistake, one brutal mistake that would have turned into the difference, which is essentially how the Patriots scored their only touchdown on the backwards pass by Jarrett Stidham. But I thought... And I put a poll out right before our show because I was curious, because I know Sean and I always butt heads about this, weather conditions versus non-weather conditions, asking the people, like, did it ruin your consumption of the AFC Championship game? And it's very split. It's 50-50. So I guess I represent one part of America, and you, Sean, represent the Grinch part of America.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be a Grinch because I know there's hypocrisy here. When I put on the game and I went outside to shovel again, Boomer, and then came back in and all of a sudden there was snow on the ground, it captures you. Snow in football is a lot like waving a bone in a dog's face. It's just like that. They can't concentrate on anything else. It's this beautiful thing they just won. But in reality, does it taste good? Like it's great. Eclectically, it looks awesome. It's a lot of fun. But like Tiki said, you watch the Seahawk-Ram game with weather not being a problem. It's just better football. So maybe this works for a December game that probably shouldn't be decided by weather anyway in the regular season. But you can't have an AFC title game where suddenly two teams cannot move the ball. And while the defenses were great, it's more to do about weather. It's just... Look, there's no solution because teams aren't going to buy into it. But in reality, if we were true, every time a team builds a stadium, there should just be a retractable roof on the thing. And when it gets to that point, that you could keep it open for as long as you want. But when it gets to affecting a game, you can't have games affected by it. It's just not good football.
Think about this, though. If I ask you guys 10 years from now, even 5 years from now, what do you remember about the NFC Championship game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams? While the game was wildly entertaining, there's a really good chance you're not going to remember much. But if I ask you about the AFC Championship game between the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots, I think there's a really good chance that you're going to remember the conditions and you're going to remember the ugliness. And that game will go down in history, whether you liked it or not at the time, as a more memorable game in the annals of NFL history.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Rams-Patriots Super Bowl where it was just an ugly game. You don't remember much of the details. You just remember how ugly of a game it was. So we'll remember this AFC Championship game because it was an ugly, weather-filled game. And the NFC Championship, especially because, we'll remember it because Sam Darnold locally here, but we'll remember it because it was high scoring. It felt whoever's going to get the ball last, and the one mistake that they made on a punt return, the Rams ultimately doomed them in this game. But you're probably right. The weather will last. I don't mind weather. I actually loved playing in weather because I always felt like I had an advantage. We used to call those guys the mudders, guys who could play in rain and snow and untidy conditions, and so I like to see if guys could do that, and neither one of these teams could do it, and so in a way it kind of frustrated me because we've all played in those kind of conditions from the time we were 12 years old all the way through college and even in the NFL, and all of a sudden it just messes with your mind. Like, it makes you have to focus in a completely different way. And neither one of those teams after that first drive were able to do it in the second half.
What I wonder about, and maybe we were so focused on our own weather, and maybe that's a part of why I liked it so much. Like, I'm doing what you guys are doing and everyone else is doing. I shoveled 17 times yesterday. We're going out every hour. We're trying to cut into the amount of snow we're going to get so that the job on Monday morning is a little bit easier. So snow's on the brain. And I loved it, by the way. So, Sean, don't tell me, it's so, you know what? Yes, it's hard work. Yes, my back is hurting. But I loved going out there, man. That was fun. I felt like a child again.
Yeah, I did too until my finger started freezing.
Well,
Yeah.
side
And my
effects.
dog won't pee because little Millie, who's a Dotson, all she wants to do is eat the ice. Talk about being distracted. She's just chomping on the ice. I'm like, would you pee for Christ's sakes? So it took forever.
Don't
I
eat
hate
the yellow.
the snow.
Don't eat the yellow, Tiki. Don't eat the yellow.
Not me.
I get the negatives that come with it, but I think by experiencing it, I almost needed to then watch it. Like, it almost felt weird to start the Denver game with no snow. Because it was like, what planet are they on? You know, we just got pounded for 1.5 feet. Where's their snow? And the other thing, and I'm not sure, and maybe, Sean, you know the answer to this.
Okay.
I didn't know the forecast. So I'm watching this game without any inkling or idea that there was a chance it was going to turn like this. And I don't know if Sean Payton knew or Mike Vrabel knew, and we'll go deeper into Sean Payton's decision to not kick a field goal but go for it on 4th down. I think a part of that decision-making, as weird as this sounds, is knowing the potential weather. And so I don't know if these guys had any idea what was in store for them, or at least even the potential of what was in store for them.
Unless I'm that bad a gambler, maybe I am. I looked into all the weather reports. I never saw snow coming and was not surprised when I saw snow on there. I mean, sun to start the game. But that's what they say about Denver, right? It could go from 55 and sunny to snowing out of nowhere. I can't believe it turned like that. So, again, we'll delve into Sean Payton, but I don't think anybody saw it coming.
Well, and that's the weirdest part about that game. Another reason why, to me, I know 10 years from now, I'll remember this game, even though I'm not happy about it. I don't know if I've ever seen a game, and they said this on the broadcast a lot, and it's true, even for me as a football fan, how quickly and extreme we saw weather change like that.
Right.
I mean, to go from just a regular run-of-the-mill nice January day to, hey, it's starting to snow, into, wow, it's snowing hard, into an unplayable mess of snow in the fourth quarter was probably the quickest turn weather-wise I've ever seen at a football game. Like,
and it was
that's
interesting.
unbelievable.
Right, and it was interesting, too, because the what's the kicker's name? Will Lutz, said after the game, because of the snow, he couldn't. They put the ball probably a yard short of where it was supposed to be. And that's likely why it got blocked. Because you measure it off and you do it visually. You got to do it quick. You get up there, you get 7 yards instead of 8 yards, and it gets tipped by the very tip of a defensive lineman's finger. I mean, so it's a game of precision. And when snow messes up your precision.
Bro, it's the little things. I know it turned out not to matter because of Borregales missing the field goal at the end of the first half, but it did also feel like the Patriots beat the Broncos in terms of the little things. Drake May's awareness of getting out of bounds or sliding and Vrabel quickly calling that timeout to at least set them up for a field goal at the end of the first half. It's the little things. It's the little details. And that's where I give the Patriots a lot of credit, as sick as I am. And as much as I stand by the fact that their road to the Super Bowl was one of the easiest in the history of the sport. I mean, it really was.
But this game wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. Well, you know what? It wasn't easy. But once they had a 10-7 freaking lead in snowy conditions, it wasn't that hard either, Teak.
Yeah, but they also still didn't have to play the second half against a team that was desperate and at home. And I mean, who did the weather benefit? Who did the weather benefit?
The team with the lead. The team with the lead.
It probably benefited the New England Patriots. I'm not going to, because if you're in New England, I'm trying to think this was like a warm weather team. They're not. They know how to play in weather as well. So it really didn't benefit anyone. And if anything, it probably disadvantaged the Denver Broncos because they have a backup quarterback who hasn't played all season long.
I don't even think it's any of that, though, Teague. I think it benefited the team with the lead. I think once you had a lead in conditions like that, it changed everything because all Mike Vrabel did, and while it's easy, he was also right and he was smart, was say, I'm going to run the football and I'm not going to make any mistakes. I mean, he basically told Drake May on a third down, just throw the ball away. Don't even try.
Right.
Because we know with a field goal lead, unless something kooky happens, we're going to win this game. So when you ask the question, and it's a good one, all right, who'd the snow benefit? These are sort of two cold weather teams. The snow benefited whoever had the lead. even if a warm weather team was playing in conditions like this, as long as they didn't turn the ball over, and that was obviously the most important thing, once you had the lead, you were playing with the benefit. And that's why, like, that part sucked, I admit. That part frustrated me as a fan. But I also still enjoyed the weather aspect of it.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I put this poll out. Here are the results right now. Did the weather in the AFC Championship game ruin the game? Very, very simple, straightforward question. 52% said no, it was amazing. 48% said yes, the game was awful. So
Now,
it shows you how split it is.
I think the 52% are just national football NFL fans.
Right.
And the 48% are gamblers. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it.
That's true. You gamble any player prop in that game, you hated that game in the second half. You hated it. I think Tiki's spot on with that, but that's the culture we're in now.
I am curious. I am curious for the people out there. Did it add to the game? Did it ruin the game? What did it do for you? I just know as a football fan, taking my biases aside, because obviously I wanted the other result to happen, I thought it was legendary, and I would hate to lose it. 888-808-1019. And real quick to your point, Sean, about a dome in every city, a dome for every team. And you're right, it's unrealistic. Now, the idea that got floated out a few years ago, and I was concerned about it, was, do you remember when they had to cancel the Bill game with the Damar Hamlin almost tragic situation?
Yeah.
They scheduled a scenario where the AFC Championship game was going to be at a neutral site. And luckily, the circumstances of the playoffs that year led to it not being at a neutral site. And my concern at the time when that happened, I said it on the air, was I'm worried that if we ever get a neutral site championship game, they'll do it permanently, that they would go down that road. And I heard Tommy mention this earlier this morning, the idea of it. And I hate it. I hated it then. I hated the idea of it. But to your point, Sean, if you're really concerned about weather impacting a championship game, there's your solution. And the NFL, knowing the NFL, I could see him doing it. And just for a little reference, before you guys tell me if you like it or not, they voted on this 2 decades ago. This was an actual real thought by NFL owners. I'd say it was about 35, 40 years ago. The idea of neutral site championship games.
Yeah, and it got shot down. And I think home field advantage, especially if weather, because that's what we're talking about today, is a factor. You have to consider it. Home field means something. It has to mean something. So going someplace where it's neutral or perfect weather, Southern California, whatever, wherever you want to say, Florida, I think that disadvantages a team that worked hard to get home field advantage, especially if they're a Northeast team or a Pacific Northwest team. So I agree with the owners on shooting that down. I would never want a neutral site championship weekend, because I think it takes away from what the atmosphere actually is. I mean, in Seattle, that 12th man is for real. Yeah. Right? It really affects games. And I think in some points it did in that game, in that NFC Championship game.
I'm anti-neutral site, but I got news for you. The more and more I watch games like Denver, you could get me to turn in the next 10 years to this. You could.
Jesus. You're so soft. You know, Boomer's right about that at least.
Yeah. By the way, Evan, I must commend whoever decorated your office. You told me about it, and it looks amazing. And I could barely see it on the 3 shot. But when they did a solo shot of you and you see the Mets on the wall, the baseball bats and the ball, I encourage anybody who's not to look on YouTube and watch Evan, because his office is freaking awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are on YouTube. You can watch the show. And that's the other reason I stayed home today, because this got finished, my office decorations, on Friday. And even if there was no snow, I was going to make up an excuse to stay home just so I could show off my background, in which, yes, the baseballs on the wall spell out Rico. They're missing a couple of holders. We're a couple of holders short, but eventually, right now it spells out Pico, but eventually the baseballs will spell out Rico. So thank you, Tiki. Thank you very much.
It was dope. It's cool, man.
Thank you, man. We'll get your calls coming up, your thoughts on Championship Sunday. Did the weather ruin or enhance your experience of the AFC Championship game? And we've got a ton more thoughts on what happened this weekend, including the decision made by Sean Payton. 888-808-1019 is the toll-free number. We are hanging out with you for the next 4 hours, and we're doing it from the Town Fair Tire Studios. Powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
And this portion of the program is sponsored by Ray Cattina Mercedes-Benz of Edison and also sponsored by DAZN.
The Nets are in Phoenix taking on the Suns. 9 o'clock tomorrow night. The home of Brooklyn Nets basketball is The Fan. 101.9 FM and always live on the iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Odyssey apps.
Just one drive in a Mercedes-Benz, you'll understand why it's a gift that keeps on giving. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration lives on at Mercedes-Benz of Edison. Choose from over 500 vehicles and experience the love during the extended Holiday Love Celebration at Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
Two global superstars in their prime square off at Madison Square Garden.
Here we go.
Tiafimo, the Brooklyn-born king of 140, looks to retain his world title as Shakur steps up to become a 4-division world champion. Don't miss Lopez versus Stevenson, January 31st. Watch only on DAZN.
Announcing that gold has surpassed $4,800 an ounce, and silver is at an all-time high as well. If you need cash to help pay those holiday bills, then you must go to the Estates Roadshow. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. 2 locations this week, Staten Island and in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The prices of gold and silver are at an all-time high, so there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure. Just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Friday in Staten Island at the Hilton Garden Inn and in Old Bridge, New Jersey at the Hampton Inn. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those holiday bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com. That's estatesroadshow.com. And follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook for all upcoming events.
Hi, it's Sal Licata here for CertaPro Painters. You know, my home is a very happy place, especially when my wife is satisfied. And while that's not an easy thing for me to achieve, my friends at CertaPro Painters had no such problems. Big jobs, small jobs, the good folks at CertaPro Painters are at your service. If you've been putting off a painting project, give them a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C, and you'll see exactly what I mean. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com.
History's masterpieces wouldn't be the same without their most notable accents. Neither would the Kia Sportage without its multiple drive modes. The Kia Sorento without its expansive 12.3-inch panoramic display. Or the Kia Telluride without its 3 rows of spacious seating. The Kia SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Real power isn't what you hold. It's what you give to those around you. That's why you need a network that lets you share its power with the ones you love. With Total Wireless, you and your family can get 4 free 5G phones for just $25 a month per line. Now that's a total power move. Visit your neighborhood Total Wireless store. Offer ends April 15, 2026 or while supplies last. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires new activation on a total base 5G unlimited plan. Port in and ID verification requirements vary by device. Limit to 4 devices per account.
It's been over 7 years since Pastor Billy Richards was treated successfully for prostate cancer by Perlmutter Cancer Center, the world's #1 cyberknife program. After 5 treatments in 1 week, Pastor Billy went right back to leading his Brooklyn congregation.
Cyberknife was truly a blessing for me, my family, and my ministry. If you have prostate cancer, I urge you to look into Cyberknife.
For an appointment, call NYU Langone's Perlmutter Cancer Center at 833-1-CYBER. That's 833-ONECYBR.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW-1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Introducing new Quick and Eat, chicken and lightly breaded in grilled chunks. Delicious and so easy to prepare. Quick and Eat, now in the frozen food aisle at your neighborhood ShopRite store.
Question: what business couldn't use extra income? Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Right now, Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner with ambitious New York businesses to become Amazon Hub partners. You and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area when it's convenient for you. With each package delivered, your business gets paid. Sign up at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
Hey, it's John Gallucci Jr., President and CEO at JAG Physical Therapy. It's hockey season, and your little pros get big injuries too. Parents, play it safe. If your son and daughter sustain an injury, JAG Physical Therapy is prepared. Our licensed physical therapists, occupational therapists, and certified athletic trainers treat you at our state-of-the-art facilities. Our physical therapists are certified to treat all sports injuries, from youth leagues to the big leagues. Injuries can happen to anyone, and it's important that you get treated right away. We are an in-network provider with most insurance companies, including Medicare. When you get injured, we're ready at JAG Physical Therapy, and we look forward to cheering you on from the sidelines.
JAG is the only outpatient physical therapy and occupational therapy provider that serves the 5 boroughs, Long Island, Rockland, Westchester, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Schedule your visit today at jagpt.com. That's JAGPT.com.
Get back the life you love at JAG Physical Therapy.
Looking for Michelin tires at the guaranteed lowest price? Get to Town Fair Tire for Michelin's Cross Climate tires, offering a design that delivers an exceptional level of long-lasting performance throughout the tire's lifespan. Plus, Town Fair gives you more free services than anywhere else. For the guaranteed lowest price and your best deal on Michelin Cross Climate tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
When this happened, you talked about it on The Fan.
I would like to introduce to you the next head football coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
Wow, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that very much. And what an honor. What an exciting moment.
When New York sports happens, talk about it here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Before we get to your telephone calls, let's go to the moment. Let's go to the play. I think of all the things that happened over the weekend, this is going to be the decision and the play that is scrutinized the most, and probably the thing that's going to keep Sean Payton up at night. And that is when Sean Payton, on a 4th and 1 from the 14-yard line, early second quarter with a 7-0 lead, decided to not only go for it, but not run the football, not do a tush push, not just try to run the ball like it was a play action, there was pressure, and it obviously did not work out. And the Denver Broncos never scored again. Before we get the professional opinion of Tiki Barber and the raw animalistic opinions of me and Sean, let us hear, in fairness, from the head coach of the Denver Broncos, no editing, so it's a long clip. Sean Payton is asked, what and why did you make the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 instead of kicking the field goal to go up 10-0?
Just felt like, man, we had momentum to get up 14. It felt like we had a good call. And where were we at yard line wise there? Yeah, I think the feeling was, man, let's be aggressive. You know, to get up 14. I was just watching the way our defense was playing. And, you know, look, the turnover on our end resulting in a touchdown. And outside of that, man, I thought we did a good job in containing them. There'll be a number of things when we watch the tape I'll look at and you know, critique and pay close attention to. But it was a hard-fought game, and we didn't do enough to win it.
Teak, what'd you think of the decision? What'd you think of his answer?
So, I mean, I think his answer is right because defensively they had forced 3 punts already at that point from or 4 punts. No, was it 3 punts? Yeah, 3 punts.
It was 3. 3 punts and 3 possessions.
Yep. 3 punts by the Denver defense on this New England offense. And look, on the day, it's not like Drake May, who was an MVP candidate, was playing great football. I mean, I think he finished with under 100 yards on the day, throwing the ball. So their defense did their part. And so he was right. It was a way to fully steal momentum. When I look at it, though, because I went back and rewatched the series, and it was a long drive, right? I think it was 11 plays or so. And they get down there, and on third down, Jared Stidham scrambles out to his right. And he dives at the last minute, just trying not to take hard contact and maybe reach for the field for the first down. If he just keeps running, just run out of bounds. Don't dive. Don't do anything. Just
he gets
run,
it.
Just run out of bounds instead of diving, leaving your feet. He gets the first down. The problem was the play call, which was, I mean, he said it was a good play call. I don't think it was because it was overloaded to the play side. The right guard completely whiffed or had a brain fart. Didn't even block the guy right in front of him. So there was immediate pressure, and they were playing in zone. I think he thought they were going to get man. It was cover 3. There was nowhere for him to go with that football because the flat's covered. Your tight end is not getting over top into the corner of the end zone, and there was nowhere for him to throw that football. So, first of all, I think it was a bad play, so I contradict that. But I also look back on the play before. The third down run by Jared Stidham would have ended this whole – we wouldn't have had this issue with Sean Payton going for it on fourth down. But as it stood, I kicked the field goal. Even if you are dominating and you think you're going to keep this New England Patriot defense from scoring, kick the field goal. Give yourself a 2-possession lead as opposed to a 1-possession lead.
So with the play call, you gave all the really smart X's and O's. I'm just going to give you the dumb guy opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't want the ball in the hands of Jared Stidham when all I need is 1 yard.
Yeah,
it's a very simple opinion, but I only need 1 yard. And I know the Denver Broncos have had a very difficult time running the football, but I only need 1 yard.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest issue. Like, I'm not asking this kid to make a play.
But here's why. Because here's why he did this. Because just given the look, given what New England typically does, it looked like you're getting all-out pressure. And if you get all-out pressure and you're whoever it was, I forget, little Jordan Humphrey, slips into the flat, it's an easy first down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he thought he was getting man coverage, but they backed into a zone. And when you're in a zone and it's short area to operate like that, there's nowhere to go with the football. So he made a calculated guess on what they would do, and he got it wrong.
The other calculated guess that Sean Payton made that it is very difficult for me to crush him on is knowing the weather conditions that were going to follow.
Yeah.
If someone could have told Sean Payton, hey, by the way, yes, it's 7-0. Yes, your defense has done a great job. Yes, you love the play call, but we're going to get blizzard conditions in the fourth quarter. If you could have told him that, I think he would have said, screw it, I'm just going to take the points.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not messing around. And so I think what a lot of us are doing is after the fact, we are looking at what ended up happening and saying, how do you not kick the field goal?
Right.
But the truth is, even if there was weather in the forecast, how could you possibly know it would be that?
No, you couldn't have known it was going to be that. I mean, there had to be some indication. Like, did the weathermen not work in Denver?
I don't know.
Like, did nobody know that at some point during the course of this game, it could get a little bit dicey, at least overcast, maybe a little bit of rain? I mean, that was a blizzard, blizzard-like conditions, at least from a visual standpoint. And those guys talked about it. Some of the players after the game, they couldn't see. They couldn't make out what was happening.
And that's what made the decision to go for it look worse. Because
Right.
I think if all things are equal, I get it. You're up 7-0. You're trying to put your foot down on them. Let's get a first down. We score a touchdown. It's 14. Because as good as your defense is, and despite what you did in the first 3 drives, I don't think you feel 10 points is going to be enough to win. But because the conditions turn the way they did, it's easy to say, how the hell are you not kicking a field goal in that spot?
My issue with it is it's still the first quarter.
Yep.
It's not like you're crushing momentum heading into halftime. It's the first quarter. There's still so much football.
It was technically the second quarter, but it was like the 10-minute mark. It was early
right.
second.
You know what I
quarter.
mean? It was like the drive started in the first quarter,
Yes.
middle of the second quarter. It didn't feel like this is the turning point of the game. It felt like let's just, to me, get a 2-score lead and then let your defense continue to do what they do. Because until the fumble, the Jared Stidham fumble, New England's offense did absolutely nothing.
No, absolutely. That's what changed the game.
Yeah.
That was the ultimate game changer because that gave them – now, look, Denver can get them out of the end zone. They don't have to literally give up a touchdown 2 plays later with Drake May prancing into the end zone, but that was absolutely the game changer. Let's get to your phone calls, 888-808-1019. Let's go to Sonny in Malvern. Good morning to you, Sonny.
Good morning, guys. How's everyone?
All's good,
man. What's up?
Good, nice and safe. One thing on the poll, Evan, and then on the Sean Payton decision. The poll, I think, is divided by this. I'm 62. I loved the game. I love the snow. I love old school football defense. I texted my son after the game, how'd you like the game? He's 23 years old. He said boring. So there's your answer. I think it's the age disparity. Anyway, as far as the game, listen, we all know Sean Payton's a great coach. He made a terrible decision. I'll tell you a few reasons why. Number one, it was a long drive, 11 plays. They had to come away with points. Number two, they have a great defense. New England has a great defense. Points were going to come at a premium. They had to get those 3 points. Number three, I think the drive before that, the touchdown drive, where they scored the long pass and then the run, Sean Payton maybe thought they were going to score, maybe a few more touchdowns that game. And number four, obviously, they did not know what the weather was going to be, and they should have known how bad the weather was going to be. And number five, they had a backup quarterback who hasn't played an NFL game in 3 years. No matter how Sean Payton was confident in that kid, it doesn't matter. Those are 5 reasons Sean Payton blew that game for the Broncos.
Look at that. We got an opening Cinco. That was a Cinco de Morningo from Sonny and Malvern. I liked it.
And Sonny, I think the last one was the most important one. It's one thing if Bo Nix is your starting quarterback who's been through however many plays throughout the year, over 17 games, and you trust him because he's done it multiple times, starting from training camp all the way through. He's been your guy. And Jared Stidham just doesn't have the in-game experience. If something should go ass up, what to do. And so I think Bo Nix gives you a better chance. But Jared Stidham, the fact that it was a backup quarterback, you're putting him in a critical 4th down situation, shows a lot of trust from Sean Payton, but it was ill-advised trust by Sean Payton on a kid. It wasn't his fault, by the way, but I think it's a rough call with a backup quarterback.
Henry is in Hartford, Connecticut. What's going on, Henry?
How you doing, fellas? First of all, Tiki, I just want to say a first-time caller, it's an absolute honor.
Thank
you. My, foundational moments of learning to be a football fan were watching you play football. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Guys, I love the snow in the game. I got to tell you, for me, it drove home. Like, I'll never forget where I was watching that game because I got trapped at work and had to work at 24, and I'll never forget. It was awesome watching those guys struggle. We're struggling. Everyone was having a hard time. I was going to ask about Sean Payton, but now that I've heard his thinking, that's not a real question for me. But I had 2 questions. One is how you see that 4th quarter being different if Bo Nix is in that game. Tiki, what kind of adjustments do you see them making on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah.
And then the second question is whether or not there are plays that you kind of have in your playbook for days like this where you're going to have to hand it off to the mutter and as you called it, and make them do their thing.
Yeah, no, it's a very good question, Henry, because every team, we hear this all the time about the first 15. Like every coach has their first 15. They do the same thing in the second half. At least the good coaches do, where you have, you script it out again in halftime if you're offensive minded that way. And I don't think you could have done it in this game because you didn't know you were coming out of halftime and it was going to be a cluster weather-wise. But you do see the really good teams, and New England started to do this, adjust and do things differently than they probably had planned to do because of the weather. And, in that second half, New England, all they were doing was running the football.
That's it.
I mean, the first drive, they threw the ball on first down, and then it was 6 straight runs to not even like quarterback draw, nothing. It was 6 straight handoffs to the running back, and then you had a QB scramble, and you had a couple more runs to the running back, and they ultimately, get down and kick a field goal. So I think New England
had the ability to adjust, and the Denver Broncos didn't. And a lot of it was because, as you mentioned in the first part of your question, Henry, the quarterback. Now, Jarrett Stidham, he's a pretty good athlete. I know they mentioned that a couple times on the broadcast, how he scrambled and can escape some of that pressure. But he's not a design QB run quarterback. And I think in the second half, if Bo Nix is in this game and the weather's exactly the same, you're going to see a lot more of Bo Nix using his legs.
That's the difference.
And it wasn't available to them.
That to me jumps out as like the biggest difference. And you even mentioned going back before the weather changed to the decision that Sean Payton made going for it on 4th down, and you talked about what happened on 3rd down and how Stidham made a slight mistake not getting that extra yard. I don't think Bo Nix makes that mistake.
No, of course not.
And I think they get a 1st down, and who knows? Maybe they score a touchdown or maybe not. Maybe they end up kicking a field goal. I don't know. But to me, what jumps out at me as the biggest difference, especially with the conditions changing, is that I think Bo Nix would have made more plays with his legs the way Drake May did. He ended the game by making a play with his legs.
Look, good football players are so above the X's and O's that they're aware of every situation. So it's 3rd and you're now scrambling. You have to get the 1st down. Yeah, unless you're getting ready to get blown up by a safety, and then you go step out and it's 4th and 3. But if you are right there, you have to know where you have to get to. And I think Jarrett Stidham, not having a ton of experience playing in the last 2 years, it just slips your mind. Like, you're so caught up in the energy of what's happening on the field that you're not thinking above what's happening on the field. And it cost him.
Peter is in Limbrook. Good morning, Peter.
Hey, how you guys doing? What's up, Evan, Tiki, Sean?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
So, I just had one, I thought it was funny. The caller, Sonny, my father and I were actually the complete opposite, whereas I was defending the snow game and he was defending that there should be a dome.
See, it's not always an age thing. I think it may just be a personality thing. Like some people just want the football straight up, let the best team win. I don't want anything affecting it. And some people like the uniqueness of what we witnessed yesterday, because it is very unique to see a game played like what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. And I am biased towards the snow game thing, but I do think possibly the game ending like the Super Bowl, the Eagles-Chiefs first Super Bowl, where it ended on a controversial pass interference call, or maybe an injury in the game where Stidham had to get thrown in without a week of practice. I feel like something like that could have affected the game more than the snow, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think if Stidham had been thrown into this game in the middle of it because, say, Bo Nix got hurt in the first quarter, it's different. Then now you have no expectation that they're going to win. But, I said this to you guys all week. You cannot discount the ability of Sean Payton to coach a guy up. And in the first half of this game, Jarrett, save for the mistake. It was a stupid mistake. Throw that ball to the first row of on the sideline. There's no need for you to try to continue to make a screen that is dead upon arrival, try to work. And ultimately it gave points to the New England Patriots. But other than that, he looked really good. He was doing everything that he needed to do. And Sean Payton, as a good coach, can prepare those guys. Plus, you're leaning on a great defense. Right? Their defense was fantastic all game long. It's just you made one mistake. Actually, two. One was the play call on 4th down, and then 2 was the turnover by Jarrett Stidham trying to make a play that was clearly dead. And so, that's experience. And when you get into a championship game, experience matters.
Oh, no doubt. With the weather, not just where we were, but obviously the weather in Denver, I had an argument, need I say the word argument, with my wife about if I would have gone to an AFC championship game at MetLife Stadium in the snow conditions we had yesterday.
Absolutely, you would have.
And my answer was, I would.
Yes.
And she's like, no, you wouldn't. And I said, well, hold on a second. I said, not that I want to fight about something that isn't real, but yes, I would. And then she said, no, you wouldn't. And if you did, you're not taking Spence. And I said, but he wants to go. He would want to go. We're going to sit in a million Jet games over the years to then not go to an AFC championship game because there's some freaking snow on the ground. And that led to an argument, which ultimately led to the argument about coming in and doing the show today, in which she said, you're not doing that either.
Right.
I lost the show argument, but I can promise you this. I'm winning the championship game argument.
Well, let's hope that at some point it actually happens for you.
Yeah, that's the other caveat to this. That's how I ended the fight. I said, by the way, there's no chance of this happening anytime soon. So
True.
what are we arguing?
I mean, what would they have done? Because this was you couldn't have played in this. So
they would have moved the game.
If the
I
NFC
think Sean was
Championship
right.
game or
Yes.
the NFC Championship game was here, if the
Yeah.
Giants or the Jets were hosting it,
Yeah.
you could not have played in this.
They would have moved
I mean,
the
we
game.
almost got 2 feet. Maybe I think it was reported as more than 2 feet, but it doesn't feel like 2 feet. But I'm sure it probably was. There's no way you could have played a football game, and nor would people have traveled.
Well, that's part of the problem. Like, I don't know who would have been there. Like,
Right.
me and 1,300 other sickos, I guess, would have battled it. We would have, what was the line you had on Scazzeri? The Iditarod? I would have done the Iditarod to get to MetLife Stadium. But I think knowing the NFL and the way they have pushed back playoff games before now due to conditions, I think the game would have been Monday night. I think they would have pushed it back a day, which would have sucked because then there would have been no weather conditions to affect the game.
True,
They
but
would have
there's
cleared
2
out
weeks. There's 2 weeks between the Super Bowl, so it ultimately wouldn't have mattered. But remember the Super Bowl that was here?
Yeah,
I mean, they got lucky because
by a few hours.
The next day or a couple hours later, it stormed like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's always a consideration up here. Always.
Man, I kept thinking about like that fight and that argument and then getting in the car and going to MetLife Stadium in a blizzard for Jets against whomever in an AFC Championship game. And then it started to hit me. Like, there's no shot of that happening. You guys can have that issue. You guys can at least dream about it and potentially think about it. And we'll get more into some of the decisions the Giants and Jets are making. The Jets may get a new OC. The Giants are hiring a new DC. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. But the more I realize, like, why am I even dreaming about this? It's like such a waste of time.
And it could easily be 45 and sunny if and when that does happen for the Jets, and you wouldn't have to have that argument either.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
2 weeks ago it was 50-something degrees.
You're 100% right. Let's go to Ralph in Yonkers. What's up, Ralph?
Hey, Ralph.
Morning, fellas. I'm over here showing out from my home field advantage.
Nice.
So, and you guys do say it's a home field advantage. Did I get that correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so now is that an advantage that clubs from California, Texas, Georgia, Florida, is that something they may have? Or maybe we should call that an unfair advantage. What do you think?
That's interesting. Well, I mean, for Denver, it was partly the weather, obviously, because if you are, let's say they were playing, I don't know, the Chargers, right? The Chargers are not used to that kind of weather. They haven't practiced in it. They haven't experienced it very much this year. And so they would have the weather issue condition. You know what? I'll use a better example. The Miami Dolphins. Remember the Miami Dolphins came out to Kansas City and it was bitter cold.
Yeah.
And they were trying to act like it wasn't cold. And you could tell those dudes quit in the first 5 minutes of that game because it was so damn cold. That's a home field advantage. But the biggest one in Denver, to be honest, it's the height. It's the mile high nature of that stadium. But because this wasn't a fast paced, right, up and down the field type of game like it was the week before against the Buffalo Bills, the thin air didn't become a factor in the game because it was a factor in the Bills game. In fact, they mentioned it on the broadcast.
There's two things, though, about home field advantage that we have to keep in mind with what we just saw. Number one, they're both cold weather teams. All right, so let's just throw that out there that, you know, if this game was in Foxborough, we just talked about the hypothetical of us having a home game in a blizzard. It was not that far off that the Patriots were going to get home field advantage in this game, and I don't know what they would have done because they got a ton of snow up in Foxborough. I'm not sure they got as much as we did, but they got a ton of snow. So either they're playing in even worse conditions or they're pushing the game back to Monday. So one thing to keep in mind is both are cold weather teams. The other thing to keep in mind is what made yesterday unique is that one team had the lead when the conditions began.
Yeah.
It's not as if they played a 3-hour game on equal footing. The Patriots had a lead when the weather turned. And that's not me crying about it or making excuses. I'm just defining what happened. Like, they had a lead, and so they were able to play much more conservatively than Sean Payton and the Broncos were because they were playing catch-up. And I think that truly was the big advantage. It wasn't a home field advantage. It was a we have a lead advantage.
Yeah, but I also think that, you know, it depends on who your coach is. Like, you have to be contemplative and think about, like, the disadvantage that you have when you're going on the road. And Mike Vrabel he's so good at this. So what it felt like early in this game, the Patriots were slow playing it. You know what I mean? They weren't trying to be wide open. Let's go run some go routes and some deep overs and crossing. They weren't doing any of that stuff with their offense, because if you try to do that in Denver, you get worn out, right? It catches up to you. And they ran the ball, 18, 17 something more times than they threw the ball in this game. It wasn't even about Drake May, other than him not making mistakes. And so you give credit to the coaches that understand the disadvantage and can coach to it, right? Not all coaches can do that. And so I give Mike Vrabel a ton of credit. And then also, because of the weather, once it turned, you knew that they were just going to turn around and hand the ball off for the rest of the game.
Before you just tell me the answer, because I have no idea if you guys know it, but I'm going to ask you. So just tell me, oh, yeah, I already know it. Don't just spit out the answer, because that's a morash thing to do. Have you noticed the number on the Broncos helmet? Like, did you notice the 5280 on their helmet?
I did not.
Okay. Did you notice that, Sean?
Nope. Still don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Really? Boy, okay. So if you watch this game, I mean, you both watched the game,
right?
Even though Sean missed the third quarter because he was shoveling for no purpose, because it's not like he was coming to work today.
Yeah.
On the brim of the Broncos helmet, and I noticed this last week, and I forgot to bring it up last week, I bring it up now, is the number 5280. All you've got to do, don't Google it because you'll get the answer.
Right.
But if you just look at a quick snapshot from any moment in this game, you'll see 5280 right on their helmet, right above the face mask.
What is it?
It's a great quote. What is it? Do you have any guesses on what 5280 means? It's on every Broncos helmet. It's the same number. So it's not like Bo Nix is 5287 and someone else is 3592. 5280 on the brim of every Broncos helmet. And I am surprised, not that you guys don't know it, I'm surprised you didn't notice it.
The only guess I have, Super Bowl 5280, was that Demaryius Thomas's number?
That's a great guess. That is incorrect, though.
I don't think. I think Demaryius Thomas was 86, right?
I honestly didn't know. I took a shot.
Right.
That is very creative, though. I give you a lot of credit, because I had to look it up, and I know the answer, but I only know the answer because I Googled it because it was bothering me.
Was it guys that got into the Hall of Fame?
Guys that got in the Hall of Fame. Incorrect. Now, you think you know the answer, or you've looked it up, Sean?
No, I haven't looked it up, but following the conversation, trying to get inside Evan Roberts' mind, is the altitude of the stadium 5,000, whatever, 80
280?
Feet?
You nailed it. That is it. It is I don't know if it's the altitude of the stadium or the altitude of the city or whatever it specifically means, but it is about the altitude in the city of Denver. How about that?
5,000,
do you feel smarter now, guys?
80 feet.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's about a mile.
Yeah, I think that is a mile, if I'm not mistaken.
A mile high.
I can't believe you guys watched this entire game 2 weeks in a row. You're watching you didn't notice the freaking number on their helmets?
No, which shows you we focus on the football.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Turn it around on me. I will get into Sam Darnold and the emotions we now feel that he's going to the Super Bowl. Plus more of your calls, a lot of debate on Sean Payton's decision-making on that 4th and 1, and various opinions on the weather and the enjoyment that we had watching the AFC Championship game. The toll-free number is 888-808-1019. It is Evan and Tiki on a very busy post-championship Monday in a snowy New York City.
If you're looking to level up your wardrobe, check out Collars & Co. You might have seen them on Shark Tank, where they landed a deal with Mark Cuban. They're the team behind the dress collar polo that sold over 1 million shirts, and now they've launched the Maverick Performance Blazer. And this thing is legit, sharp, lightweight, and completely wrinkle-resistant. It was perfect for travel. Just pack it up and it comes out looking fresh. Plus, you get smart features like security zip pockets, a sunglasses loop, and an optional pocket square. So hit up my friends over at Collars & Co. and use code TIKI for 20% off. That's at collarsandco.com.
And this Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ. Precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. How about during that AFC Championship game last night or yesterday afternoon, the Giants dropped a hire on us. They are bringing in Titans defensive coordinator Denard Wilson in as the team's new DC. Wilson was with Harbaugh in 2023 before he went to Tennessee to replace, wait for it, Shane Bowen. Before that, Wilson worked under both Todd Bowles and Adam Gase on the Jets staffs and had a stint as a coach on Jonathan Gannon's Eagles defense that went to the Super Bowl in 2022.
This is an automatic
Fantasy Sports Minute.
Early key to victory for the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 will be to turn Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold over, because the Patriots offense has not exactly been lighting it up. They're going to need a much better effort from Drake May against the Seattle Seahawks defense than they got from May in the 3 games in the AFC playoffs. So it's going to be up to that defense, force some turnovers, get some short fields. That's how New England can win it all. I'm Nick Costos.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, 2025 Murano, or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example: 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 2/2/26.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right, you can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on The Fan.
Hey, it's Tiki. Even at 50 years old, I still train hard, and recovery matters. That's why I use GAT Sports' new creatine chews. No powder, no mess, no shaker cups. Just great flavors like grape cotton candy, lemon lime, and my favorite, fruit punch on the go. 5 grams of creatine per serving. Save 30% off your first bottle at gatsport.com with code Tiki30. That's GAT Sport.com with code Tiki30. GAT Creatine Chews. Fuel up, compete harder. Let's go.
Oh, baby, listen to that engine purr. John Montone, what are you doing in that Jeep from Ramsey? Todd, it's a new year, and I'm ready to start something new. Like this brand new 2026 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Willys 4x4 with an incredible Ramsey lease of just $369 a month for 39 months. Two can play at this game. I'm going to start this new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4. And just think, you can lease one at Ramsey for only $279 a month for 27 months. Todd, I'm loving this Start Something New sales event at Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. And now I'm ready to start my new diet.
Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, home of exceptional people, exceptional deals.
Call 833-853-2969 for details. VIN number SC360766. MSRP $47,495. VIN number TW201758. MSRP $53,500. $29.95 down payment plus tax, title, and registration. 0 security deposit. Expires 2/2/26.
This isn't just a game, it's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Be there at Barclays Center on February 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
Bulk up your meals with staple proteins at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off air-chilled boneless, skinless chicken breast with Prime through January 27th. As always, there are no antibiotics ever. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Costa Sunday morning at 8 right here on The Fan. Nick will preview all the football action and get you ready for kickoff, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The home of New York Giants football. The Fan.
Runs out of the tackle, down the right sideline, cuts inside at the 5, in for the touchdown!
1019 FM WFAN. WFAN FM. WFAN FM HD1 New York. An Odyssey sports station.
We live in a world in which Sam Darnold, the hope for so many Jet fans 7 years ago, is a Super Bowl quarterback, and I admit I'm happy for him. I'm not a bitter man. I probably will end up being a bitter man before the 2 weeks are over. But yesterday, Sam played really, really well, and he deserves an immense amount of credit. And I think the reason why, as the game went on, and as the conversation late last week went on about Sam and how it makes us feel as Jet fans and doesn't make the Jets look bad, and obviously Sean with his stupid comment that it would be worse and more embarrassing for the Jets for Sam to win a Super Bowl than it was for Saquon a year ago, I think the reason why ultimately it doesn't bother me is A, we are so far removed from the decision, and B, Tiki, a lot of people, Jet fans, non-Jet fans, argued with the likes of Sean. And so unlike Saquon, where it was universally an embarrassment, like universally your only argument is, well, you know, the cap space, the cap number, Tyrone Tracy, it was a muted response. In this case, it is a heated response from a lot of Jet fans and just a lot of people who say, no, the embarrassment is more the Minnesota Vikings than it is the New York Jets.
Especially because the Vikings should have still been a good team, but the one piece they were missing was their quarterback. And they took not a gamble because they drafted a kid in the first round. It is what it is. But you draft a kid in the first round and you bring in Sam Darnold just to be his veteran backup, and he turns out to be great. And you should have known it. And when you had a decision on what to do after drafting a kid and having a guy vastly outperform the expectation, it's a hard decision to make. And it probably would have been unpopular because people wanted to see J.J. McCarthy. But ultimately, in retrospect, I mean, I don't know where the Vikings are going to do what they're going to do at quarterback, especially with J.J. being hurt each of the first 2 years.
They made a terrible, terrible decision. And as much as you gave credit to Kevin O'Connell, rightfully so, for unlocking Sam Darnold, and he probably continues to deserve a lot of credit, we also have to blame him for deciding to move on from him. Yeah, and I think when it comes to things like this, I'm sorry, Sean, because you are going to have to take an L. when we're further removed from a decision, it doesn't make it like it's not a big deal. Like, I don't want to argue, oh, yeah, no, the Jets were great with Sam. No, they weren't. They screwed it up, and I'm still mad about it. But it's also an administration ago. The people that made that decision, they're not there anymore. So as much as I want to rip Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji for other things, I can't rip them for Sam Darnold. They have nothing to do with it.
Right.
And so I think... With Saquon, it was the same administration. With Sam in Minnesota, it was the same administration. So it's not to exonerate the coaching of Adam Gase or the decisions made by Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. It's just that those guys aren't here anymore for me to be mad at.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, the similarity between Saquon and Sam Darnold, and it's not with the Vikings, it's with the Jets. The Jets weren't ready for Sam Darnold to be good. They just weren't. They weren't that good of a team. And then ultimately, they poorly and prepared and poorly groomed him to be the player that he was. The similarity is that the Giants were the same way. They weren't that good of a team. And if Saquon had stayed with the Giants, he would not have had a 2,000-yard season. It wasn't apples to apples comparison. The Eagles were ready for Sam Darnold, just like the Minnesota Vikings were ready. For Saquon Barkley. The Minnesota Vikings were ready for Sam Darnold, and the Seattle Seahawks were ready for Sam Darnold. And so he wouldn't have been this player with the New York Jets. That's the reality. Just like Saquon wouldn't have been the player that he was last year with the New York Giants last year.
I'm about to take an L on something, but before I take my L on something, Sean, are you now willing, with a weekend to think about it, to take an L on your asinine, widely panned view that Sam winning a Super Bowl is actually more embarrassing than Saquon winning a Super Bowl? Go ahead.
No, I'm not ready to take an L because I've never been more right, and you have just taken the argument and totally gone the other way, missing the entire freaking point of this. First of all, let me just address the Minnesota Vikings thing. Just because one team should be embarrassed by it doesn't mean multiple teams can't be embarrassed about it. We are not on KFan in Minneapolis. If I was, I'd be making this case about the Minnesota Vikings. That's first and foremost. Second of all, the Eagle thing in terms of like Jet fans go, well, I want to root for Sam Darnold. Go ahead and do it. Got newsflash. If Saquon Barkley had done that as a Chicago Bear last year, most Giant fans would also be rooting for Saquon Barkley to have done that. It had to do with the team he went to. Now, as far as like the Giants mishandling, yeah, we all know like that this ended up optically looking bad. He was still a running back. They were not comfortable at the time they were paying a lot of money to. The Jets are still looking for a quarterback. When they traded up, previous regime or not, Woody Johnson is still there, right? Mm-hmm. They thought that Sam Darnold was the kind of quarterback that could be a franchise quarterback and take him to a Super Bowl. As we now know, they were right. But the excuse that they weren't ready for it or that we all know Sam Darnold wouldn't develop here, that's part of why the Jets should be embarrassed. It's not an argument against why the Jets shouldn't feel that way. In fact, it's more of an argument for that. The team is such, and the organization through multiple regimes is such a dumpster fire that they could not develop this guy, and also left a big turd stinking sandwich there where Sam Darnold himself could have come back and done this with the Jets, and he was never going to be attracted to that, never even consider it. I'm sorry, this is way more embarrassing based on the position of nature, and him getting to the Super Bowl only further clamps that down, and the Vikings should be embarrassed too.
All right, so he's not taking an L. Now, I'll take my L, Tiki. On Friday, when we talked about Sam, you brought up to me how the ghost story from Patriots Jets years ago would come up again. And I said, no, it won't. I think we only think about it here in New York. I don't even think people remember it. So no worries. I see ghosts will not be brought up again. Well, it wasn't even media week, Tiki. In the post-game press conference, because I watch all of these now.
Yep.
I'm watching the Sam Darnold post-game press conference. And yes, there was a question about Sam getting revenge for I See Ghosts. Here was Sam Darnold's answer.
Yeah, I almost forgot about it, so thanks. No, you're joking. You're good. No, I think for me, like, there was a lot that I didn't know back then, so I'm just going to continue to learn and grow in this great game, and there's a lot of stuff that I can get better from today. Even I feel like I missed some throws out there that I shouldn't miss. There were some things offensively that I feel like we can do better. So we're always looking to get better. I'm always looking to get better. So that's the great part about this game is you win an NFC championship and you win games throughout the season, but there's always ways that you can look to get better.
I like how he said, Tiki, he almost forgot about it.
Yeah.
Like, he
No,
forgot. Oh, yeah,
he
thanks for reminding
hasn't
me.
forgotten about it, but he just wanted to add levity because that's an awkward question to ask because it was so damn long ago. But his answer was spot on, man. Of course you see ghosts. Of course you were disgruntled at some point in your career, but you always have to work on getting better. And he's done it. He's just in a better environment. He's had better mentors over the last 3 years or so on the multiple teams that he's been on, San Francisco, Minnesota, and obviously now with Seattle. And he's mature. Like, he sounds so and feels so different than he did when he was with the Jets. And we talked about this last week. He was so young when he came into the league, and you think that it's just automatic. Hey, man, this kid's been playing football since he was a senior or whatever, sophomore in high school and goes through college. Yeah, they're ready for the game. A lot of guys aren't, right? It's different when you start playing with grown-ass men as opposed to, the kids that you're playing with in college. And it felt like that, especially in a pressure-packed place like New York.
We also, and maybe this is me trying to make myself feel better, and if that's the case, slap me virtually. I also don't know, even if the Jets had good coaching, if it was going to happen here. Like, sometimes life experiences form the human being that you are.
Yeah.
And that Sam needed to go to Carolina and fail. He needed to sit in San Francisco and learn. He needed the success in Minnesota, but then ultimately fail at the very end. Like, he almost needed all of those experiences to become who he is today. And that even with good coaching, while he may have been a solid starting quarterback for the New York Jets, we may never have unlocked the best of Sam Darnold, because sometimes those life experiences, some bad, some educational, some good, some frustrating, help build to the person that you are.
I 100% agree. But the problem, Evan, and this is a expected narrative for would-be great quarterbacks. His doesn't fit it. You know what I mean? Most greats that we think about that win Super Bowls ultimately, because we know these statistics, and I think I've said this multiple times. It's if your team has won a Super Bowl, I think it's 70-something%. It might be 76%. The quarterback is or is going to be a Hall of Famer. And so, like, the narrative doesn't fit for a guy who got drafted first, second, what pick he was?
He was number 3 overall.
Three overall, failed, and then bounced around, and then had a little bit of success in one stop, and now goes to a Super Bowl. And now if he wins, that doesn't fit the narrative of what the quarterback is supposed to be. It's not how you find your quarterback. And so sometimes it takes guys like Sam Darnold to defy the logic that we want to throw on every single player that gets drafted into the league.
He's going to break a lot of narratives if he wins, because he also started games for like 3 different teams before he got to Seattle, where ultimately it's his 4th team in terms of playing, because he didn't play in San Francisco. So you're talking about the Jets, Carolina, Minnesota, 3 teams he started games for, and now the 4th team he's starting games for, he leads to a Super Bowl. I was looking it up last night, like how many guys have done that. Earl Morrall is one of them a long, long time ago. Rich Gannon, I think, did it for 2 teams.
Yeah.
But it's not a long list of guys who, wherever they were drafted or not, because Rich Gannon was a 4th-round pick, bounce around the league like this and then ultimately become that starting quarterback in a Super Bowl. It's a rare thing.
Right. Didn't Nick Foles have a few? But I think he went to the Super Bowl before.
Yeah, but it's also, Nick Foles is almost like a guy I wouldn't even want to count, because while he's the backup who got there and he deserves a lot of credit, all the regular season work was done by Carson Wentz. Like, he was just the backup who came in and won a few games, like Jeff Hostetler did with the Giants. Like, we can't minimize the guy who won most of the regular season games that put them in a position to have home field advantage like Nick Foles had. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But Nick feels like he was never really a solid one-team guy.
No, he bounced around.
He
no
bounced
question.
around, but he won a Super Bowl.
He certainly did. Let's get to your calls. 888-808-1019 is the number. Robbie is in Lenox. What's going on today, Robbie?
Hey, guys. I'm up to my tuchus in snow. How are you?
Awesome.
Listen, so anyway, here's the deal, okay? So, Tiki, I used to this little 19-year-old guy named Evan Roberts, Anyway, so and he's still here. Anyway, Evan, you and Joe were the 2 guys I thought. I text Joe immediately. Joe never texts me back anymore half the time, but he's sick of me. Anyway, so I thought of you guys immediately, all right? I'm thinking, what's going on in Purchase and what's going on in Jersey? I'm absolute agita, so I can't wait for you guys to have Joe on. Here's my point, and I talked to Sean, and here's my point, all right? And Sean, by the way, hi, Sean Morash, too. here's the deal, all right? Yesterday, Tiki's absolutely correct, 100%. I'll agree with most of the things that Tiki says when we talk on the post-game show with the Giants all year. But here's the problem for me. Sean Payton, here's a guy who's got a chance to the Hall of Fame, and he made the dumbest blunder I've ever. He coached the worst half of football I've ever seen for a guy who has a chance to go to the Hall of Fame. First of all, you run the ball. You do not fake. I don't know, what was it, like a option play with Stidham that went nowhere. Right. Tiki described the play, and the stupidity of not to kick the field goal. You have one of the best defenses, and can we find a meteorologist in Denver? By the way, guys, just for the record, my best friend works for John Elway, so I texted him yesterday, "Are you at the game?" He's like, "No." He said, "We decided to stay home because my buddy runs Elway Chevrolet. My best friend, 56 years, my buddy Jeff." And it's so funny because he didn't go to the game, and the outcome was so awful. So here's my point also with McVay. McVay, kick the damn field goal. You have 4 minutes left in the game.
No.
I'm so sick of the analytics. It's ridiculous.
Well, hold on. Really?
Yep.
You would have kicked the field goal in that spot?
Oh, yeah, that was my real-time thought. There was still 4+ minutes left. And honestly, I would have went for 2 on the touchdown prior to that, too.
That is very different. And hold off on that thought, because I do think that is much more debatable. I didn't even think this was debatable. Let me pull up the scenario just so we all have it so we can register it. It is 31-27, 4th and 4 from the 6, with about 5 minutes to go and all 3 timeouts. I'll tell you. I stand by Sean McVay. It's 4th and 4. It's not 4th and 10. It's not 4th and 15. I got the MVP quarterback. Get me 4 yards or get me in the end zone, because I'm banking, and I get it that I got timeouts. I get it that my defense can get off the field. I understand. But you still give Seattle the football back with a chance, if Kenneth Walker continues to run the football well, to never give it back to you. I can't take that. You guys are nuts.
There was so much time.
They had stymied Kenneth Walker for a lot of this game. I know he ended up having a bunch of receiving yards. I think he had over 100 total yards in the game, but the run game wasn't hugely effective. And so at that point in the game, that's what they're going to do. Seattle gets the ball, that's what they're going to do.
But look what happened on the final drive anyway. So you fail. So kind of the same circumstances in terms of how much time is left. Just the score is different. They didn't give the ball back to the Rams until there were 25 seconds left.
Right.
So I get it. You would have had the ball, a field goal wins, the whole thing. But you were willing to risk that? I mean, I think that's insanity when you have the MVP at quarterback. Insanity.
Yeah, and I know you want to get to the other thing later, and we'll get to it, but I think you can't talk about this without talking about that. I think they go into each other. Evan, he made 2 mistakes that compounded on top of each other.
So let's get to that, because that one I totally understand. I don't think it's on the level of Sean Payton, but it's certainly worth talking about. So clearly this game changes on a taunting penalty, which I cannot get over. It's one of those plays that I think, Sean, you did this last week with the Caleb Williams throw, the incredible play that gets forgotten in history because the result was different. This almost fits that, because the taunting penalty by Woolen changes the entire complexion of the game. Because instead of them clearly punting in a 2-score game, they get an automatic first down, and what happens? 1 play later, they're in the end zone. Puka Nacua is dancing in the end zone, and we have a football game. I agree. I think in both cases, because at 31-26, with about 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, I don't think it's too early. I don't think you're chasing points. I think that you have to trust your offense. You got to trust the MVP, and you got to say, hey, if I can get 2 here, great, field goal ties the game. If I don't get 2 here, I'm going to need a touchdown either way. So I think in that scenario, I absolutely would have gone for 2.
Yeah, and that mistake in that scenario leads to the following one, because had you gotten it, then of course it's a no-brainer. It's 4th and 4. Let's tie the football game. And if you didn't get it, then you're not even considering a field goal to try to cut it down to 1. I think no matter what, you're chasing points at that point, going for the end zone. That first mistake, not going for 2, led to the other mistake of not kicking the field goal and getting too aggressive at that point. What are you? Are you aggressive or you're not? You weren't aggressive enough to go for 2, but then suddenly you want to go for the end zone there on a 4th and 4, which is like a mile versus that Seattle defense. He just couldn't figure out what he wanted to do. I just thought both problems bled into each other.
What about the earlier opportunity to go for 2? They score a touchdown early in the second half. There's about 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, so it's early on. This was after right after Seattle scored, after the special teams muff, where they scored a touchdown. 1 play later, Jake Bobo, whatever his name is, gets in the end zone for a touchdown. They responded right away, which was great because it kept everyone's TVs on for those that were on the fence, because that game could have turned ugly after that special teams mistake. At 24-19 with about 9:50 to go in the third quarter, did you go for two there?
I think it's too early. I think you just get the points. And again, the analytics will tell you whatever that you want the analytics to tell you, by the way. And so I think you get the extra point and you realize that there's going to be a lot more scoring in this game.
I'm completely in agreement. That's basically the beginning of the third quarter. It's a completely different ball game than early in the fourth quarter.
I'd agree with you. I think there it's too early. I think the second time I go for two, but I do think you can separate McVay's decision and not go for two with the decision to go for it on 4th and 4 from the 6-yard line, because if you don't convert on that 2-point conversion, you're in the same situation. And so I get it. Hey, you're inconsistent, Sean McVay. Whatever. It's on its own. Like, at that point in the game, there's too little time and no guarantee I'm getting the ball back. Like, it's not as bad as LaFleur kicking the field goal with Aaron Rodgers years ago with Green Bay, but I can't risk that. Like, I would never be able to live down that the MVP of the league, or the potential MVP of the league, did not have the ball in his hands with a chance to win me that game. I kicked the field goal. There is no guarantee I'm getting the ball back. So I think they had to go for it. Unfortunately for them, or fortunately for Seattle, they made the play, which they've done all year defensively.
I think kicking the field goal and being down by 1, you kind of fall into the same exact situation. You know what I mean? You kick the field goal, you're down by 1, you kick off. They actually have better field position instead of being all the way at with on the 6-yard line or 4-yard line, and then they run the clock out and you get the ball back with 25 seconds and you can't get in the field goal range.
Right.
I think the same scenario happens. So I think you had to go for it on that 4th down.
And it would have been a bigger deal that Nakua didn't get out of bounds on that last play, which he clearly
huge.
didn't.
Yeah, but that's hard, man. That's a hard one to blame Puka on, because he's trying to make a great catch and he thinks he's going to be out of bounds. It's a game of inches. And he was an inch from being out of bounds with his knee down. Instead, it goes in bounds. But just going down to those last 2 plays on that 4th down, the 3rd down and the 4th down, I'm trying to find fault in the MVP, potential MVP in Matt Stafford. I'm trying to look at it and say, oh, he did this wrong. He did that wrong. Seattle's defense is just damn good.
Yeah.
They blanket you and they confuse you. And the thing I love about Sean McVay's offenses is that you see these little quick motions. You see them do those quick motions, and whether it's a tight end or whether it's Puka and shuffling back or forth one way or another, he's just trying to get a quick indicator. They play in man or they play in zone. It's the simplest man zone recognition technique possible. The Seattle Seahawks will show you man and play zone. And so the reason that he couldn't find anybody open is because he thought he had man coverage, and in fact they're dropping into cover 4. And so I love the cat and mouse between Sean McVay and Mike McDonald in this game. It was one of my favorite things to watch as this game went on.
The other thing that was fun to watch in this game is the flirting and the love between Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady. They've got
they nailed this game. They nailed it
completely. Completely. They are doing something that is unforeseen in broadcasting. They're now beloved. You don't hear a bad word about Kevin Burkhardt, who is an incredible story, obviously worked here at WFAN.
Right.
And even Tom Brady, who I can't stand, he has become one of the best analysts out there. In fact, I came with a gift. I came with my favorite Tom Brady moment from the game on Sunday. Do you want to guess what it was?
There's too many of them, man.
There's too many of them.
It was he explained everything perfectly, and he had some wit about him. He had some he's coming into his own as his personality is coming out. So I can't guess at all. I have no idea.
I will give it to you. It was after there was a non-call. They did not throw a flag on a play where there could have been an offensive pass interference. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady take it from here.
Arm into the kind of Durant's face. Lucky that wasn't an OPI, actually.
They let it go, and so here comes Jason Myers.
I like that. Let him play in the playoffs. Unless there's blood, don't call it. Unless there's blood. It's a violent sport.
Listen to you.
I know.
Unless there's blood, don't call it.
I mean, he's right. He's right. It's the playoffs.
He's right. And I love it. And it was
don't let some ticky-tack stuff determine the outcome of this game.
100%. And I thought overall the officials did a great job this weekend. There were a combined 10 penalties for 80 yards in the game they called and a combined 3 penalties for 10 yards in the snow game. So for the most part, the officials let them play. And I totally agree with Tom's point. I thought there was levity to it. But there is a caveat I have to throw out there.
Which is?
What a hypocrite Tom Brady is. Because when he played, he whined and he bitched and he begged for every call. So don't give me this, unless there's blood, I don't want to call. Unless it involves you, pretty boy.
You're a different man when you're in the booth. You're a different man. It is the facts. You just change. Now you can be critical. And when you're a player, you don't want to hear that.
I get it. Playing versus broadcasting changes the man. We'll get back to your calls coming up, 888-808-1019, the toll-free number. Plus, did the NFL, all the way back in September, give it away that we were headed towards the Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl? It is Evan and Tiki on a busy post-championship Monday.
Those of us living in New Jersey got hit with a 20% electric rate increase. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, it's time for a new high-efficiency Carrier system. There's only one company to call for a new one. My friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older systems waste gas, so get yours checked now and save money with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them at edisonhvac.com. That's edisonhvac.com.
We are coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
And this portion of the program is sponsored by Audi Manhattan, where luxury meets excellence.
The home of Super Bowl 60 on Westwood 1 is WFAN.
Hi, it's Sal Licata here for CertaPro Painters. You know, my home is a very happy place, especially when my wife is satisfied. And while that's not an easy thing for me to achieve, my friends at CertaPro Painters had no such problems. Big jobs, small jobs, the good folks at CertaPro Painters are at your service. If you've been putting off a painting project, give them a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C, and you'll see exactly what I mean. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com.
History's masterpieces wouldn't be the same without their most notable accents. Neither would the Kia Sportage without its multiple drive modes. The Kia Sorento without its expansive 12.3-inch panoramic display. Or the Kia Telluride without its 3 rows of spacious seating. The Kia SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
201-450-4263. Hi, I'm Dr. Glenn Gedgerman, and that's my cell phone number. If you've been recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, please call me directly at 201-450-4263. For more than 20 years, my team and I have helped prostate cancer patients at John Theuer Cancer Center's Radiation Oncology Department, now one of the largest programs of its kind in New Jersey. If you have prostate cancer, call my cell, day or night, at 201-450-4263. That's 201-450-4263. At John Theuer Cancer Center, we use TomoTherapy's unique guided radiotherapy to precisely focus on the prostate gland. Our treatments can be safely completed in a shorter period of time with fewer side effects and better sexual function. Call my cell at 201-450-4263. I'll make sure you're seen within 48 hours. John Theuer Cancer Center, a division of Hackensack Meridian Health.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA and everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to Westwood One Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on The Fan.
Sunday no longer a fun day? We've got specialists for that. Walking the dog, unleash, knee pain? We've got specialists for that. With 45 Castle Connolly top doctors, Orland & Cohen specialists are considered among the best in the nation by their peers, which can mean a better outcome for you. From Staten Island to Southampton, our network is open 7 days a week, so you can feel better, faster. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with a special message for New York businesses looking to diversify your income. Amazon Hub Delivery is making it easy to earn extra money. When you partner with Amazon Hub Delivery, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra income and exposure for your business. There's no upfront cost, no delivery experience, and no long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
Hey, New Jersey, now's the time to enroll in quality, affordable health coverage through Get Covered New Jersey. All plans provide free preventive care, coverage for prescriptions, emergency services, and more. Plus, 8 in 10 get financial help to lower monthly costs. If you have questions or need help enrolling, Get Covered New Jersey is here for you. Hurry, open enrollment is happening now. Enroll by January 31st at getcovered.nj.gov. getcovered.nj.gov.
Looking for the best value on new tires? Get to Town Fair Tire. We honor every valid manufacturer's and competitor rebates and give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Oh, let's go.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Snow ending, high 28.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Something big just rolled into 7-Eleven. Meet our 4 new Johnsonville sausages. Hot and ready on the roller grill. Smoky cheddar. Loaded with Wisconsin creamy cheddar smoked with real hardwood chips. Jalapeno cheddar. Bold and melty cheddar with a spicy jalapeno kick. Smoked Polish. Seasoned with black pepper and garlic, slow smoked for serious flavor. And ultimate Italian. Bursting with basil, oregano, rosemary, and thyme. Right now at 7-Eleven, get any 2 roller grill items for just $3.50. That's any 2 roller grill items for $3.50 at 7-Eleven. Valid through 3/3/26. Participating stores only. While supplies last. Visit store for full terms.
If you are an athletic supporter, call now. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Paramount Plus to stream every NFL on CBS playoff game.
It's funny, we are doing our show from home because the snow was very, very bad. Though as I look outside now, if we were still in our old time slot, I think we would have made it in without a problem. Because I do think that the roads have been cleared. But it's funny, so earlier today at the end of the Boomer and Gio show, Boomer was letting us all have it because basically everybody should have come in, and Sean had enough of it, so Sean popped on the morning show and called Boomer a lot of mean names, including comparing him to Mamdani, which really hit Boomer hard. And it did get me thinking that I have a confession to you, and you guys are not aware of this because I never even let it get to you. But I've been dealing with a back issue to the point where I stand all the time, and it's been very, very painful. Last week, and it got heated in the Roberts household. Just to show you I don't lose every battle to my wife. Mm-hmm. My wife was insisting I spend the next 2 weeks doing shows from home. Wow. And I said, I can't do that. And she's like, do you not care about your back? Do you not care about the pain? I was like, no, I do. I get it. But I just can't do that. And so on the day where we stay in, I was thinking about that. I came very close to giving in on that argument. And I would have been home for 2 weeks, which was an idea she had. And I said, no. I gotta be there. I gotta look into Tiki's beautiful eyes every single day.
That would be hard. And by the way, do you think that it would make a difference?
No.
So if you stayed home for 2 weeks, is it making a difference in your back?
No, and ultimately that's part of why I pushed against it. Not just wanting to be there, because I do prefer to do the show here. You'll find out in 10 minutes why I prefer to do the show here. That's just a little surprise. But I don't think it would have made a difference, because unfortunately, like when I get to work, and the guys will tell you, I lay everywhere, I do stretching, I stand, I do everything there I'd be doing here. So what difference would it have made? So
other than the drive.
Yes, all right, fine. That's a good point, Tiki.
That's it.
Other than the drive.
And the drive is the most painful thing sometimes if you have back issues.
The drive on the way home tends to be the issue. Driving to work at 5 a.m. lately has not been a problem. It's more the end of the day drive for whatever reason. Anyhow, screw my back, whatever. I'm alive. It doesn't matter. There's an image that has been going viral, and I will describe it to anybody who hasn't seen it. And if you want to see it, I retweeted it at Evan Roberts, WFAN. It's an image that was put out right before the start of the football season of a lot of players staring at the Lombardi Trophy, looking at the skyline of the Bay Area. And so Saquon Barkley is in full vision, obviously as a defending Super Bowl champion. And then if you zoom all the way into the very front, much smaller, but the very front, you would see, no joke, Drake May and Sam Darnold. And that is leading people to believe that, see, the NFL is scripted. They told you back in September that it was going to be Drake May and Sam Darnold. Tiki, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I have no idea when this picture was actually created.
September.
And
I'm telling you.
Yes, they say it was September, but was it really September? Because if you are whoever, I don't know who put this out, but I saw it also.
The NFL.
The NFL put this out.
Yes.
And do we have a screenshot from September?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
is this AI regenerated from
No.
September?
This is a legit, I swear to you, Tiki, and I do not believe the NFL is fixed. I want to make that clear. But the image is an absolute, real, non-AI image from September 5th of this season. And it does feature Drake May and Sam Darnold in the front. Now, I do want to point out the two guys right behind them, because this is important. Right next to Drake May is Malik Neighbors.
Correct.
And right slightly behind Sam Darnold is Sauce Gardner. Just want to point that out.
And Evan, who is Sauce Gardner standing next to?
Sauce Gardner is standing next to Cam Ward.
No. Look to Sauce Gardner's right.
Jonathan Taylor.
His future teammate. The NFL script. We knew about the trade.
I didn't see that one. So, does this prove, Tiki, that you've been lying to us all these years and the NFL is scripted?
No, I mean, Brock Purdy is sitting back there at the very back like he sucks. So what does that even mean? Saquon Barkley is the prime focal point at the very back of it. So maybe that's last year to four. I don't know. I can't tell you what it means. But it is very interesting that those two ended up making it at the front, and especially because I was listening to in the break. I was listening to Sam Darnold's press conference or after his media availability, and they were talking about, you were in the draft class with Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson. You're the first one to make it to the Super Bowl, which is insane to think about. Because
but did you hear his answer?
Yeah,
I made it 2 years ago with the Niners.
I know. I mean, but as you know what I mean, as the man for the team. But it's like nobody would have predicted this. This would make the NFL great. And so to sit here and say it was conspiracy would be, nobody knew that this was going to happen with the Seahawks.
No. And
it's not like they were great last year.
And the reality is, I think, and we do this with the NBA lottery, no matter what the result is, we would have found something. There would have been something that proved, see, everything's rigged, everything's fixed. But I do at least want to point it out because it's funny. I mean, you got to admit, it's a little crazy that that's out there. Let's get back to your phone calls. Stuart is calling from Brooklyn, New York. What's up, Stuart?
Good morning, Evan and Tiki. With the Denver Broncos, that was an exciting snow game. Stidham is not a big time player, but a serviceable backup. To expect big time plays from him is too much to ask. He delivered one on the way to sticking the club with the early lead. I like Payton's aggressiveness in going for it on fourth down, but I hated the call because the play was too complex and asked too much from Stidham. They could have often gotten a yard on the ground, but maybe Payton was just trying to demonstrate his play calling genius. And my last point is the Patriots did a great job of disrupting the screen game, but Stidham made that fatal mistake of double clutching the ball. Either you overthrow it to only to your running back, who has a chance, or it hits the ground.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Stidham made a couple of mistakes in this game. The fumble, which ultimately became a fumble, was the most egregious one, because I don't know if the New England Patriots score other than the field goal that they scored in the second half in this game.
They did miss a few field goals, but
Right.
obviously that's just a part of the game. But you're right. Like, their big score, and really the ultimate difference in this game, was not just the turnover, but then subsequently taking advantage of that brutal turnover. It changed the whole game.
It 100% changed the game. And we talked about the play call earlier on the fourth and one. Really, it was a 3rd and 8 that he scrambled and came up just a half a yard short that ultimately set up. It was a convoluted play because the running back's going out the wrong. It's a naked bootleg, but the running back goes the other way. And so I think you're trying to surprise people, and it didn't surprise anybody because there were 2 guys left completely unblocked, and Jarrett Stidham just had nothing to do. He had nowhere to go with the football.
Mark is in Chatham, New Jersey. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Yeah, I think how you doing? I think Sean Payton's cover-up is worse than the crime. And I'll tell you why. You can question all day going for it. I personally thought they should have kicked the field goal too. But how many times do you hear coaches say, it's going to be a high-scoring game. We need to put on it. We need to get 7 here. He says his defense is playing fantastic, so why not take the point? It's the opposite of what most coaches would usually tell us.
No, it's a really fair point. Like, you're making it a 2-score game if you truly trust your defense. Not that you're going to shut them out, but you're forcing the Patriots to have to score twice on you. If you truly believe in your defense, wouldn't that be enough in your mind? And obviously not, which is why he said, get me 7 instead of another 3. But 10-0 would have felt daunting. But
especially the way your defense was playing.
Exactly, and that was his whole point. So I get the idea of the cover-up is worse than the crime.
Had he kicked that field goal, how many overtimes you think you get before a score is made knowing those conditions?
Dude, I was talking about this with Connor Green off air,
question.
the great Connor Green, and honestly, I think we would have had 3 overtimes. I think it would have been, put it this way, and this is about to sound insane what I'm about to tell you. I think we would have had discussions on social media about stopping the game. That's how long I think it would have went, to the point where, Sean would have been the person to tweet it.
So how do you determine the winner then?
You continue it the next day or 5 days later, whatever the rest is needed. But I think it was going to become absurd. And I made this prediction earlier. It probably, if it was going to end on a defensive play. It would have just been some miscue. But ultimately, the way no one could move the football, I think we would have gotten a historic amount of overtimes, and the NFC Championship game would have been the lowest rated NFC title game ever, because eventually they would have had to have started it, even if they delayed it, and no one would be watching it.
Yeah. They could have delayed it, though, because it was early enough, even though, I don't know, it did finish kind of late now that I think.
Is that fair to the players, though, Teague?
No,
You've been
it
in a
isn't. It
situation
absolutely
like
is
that.
not.
Yeah.
It absolutely is not. So you'd have to have them playing concurrently, which is not ideal for the NFL, especially the advertisers' purposes.
I think the game would have gone on for a ridiculous amount of time, and I think it would have eventually ended on some kind of insanity defensive play, some turnover.
And would we not have all been yelling and screaming about this is why games can't be played in the weather if it ended on a non-real football play in multiple overtimes?
No, we'd be talking about it as the greatest game we've ever witnessed.
Would we?
Hey,
though?
do you? Yes, the 3-0. We've never had a 3 or 4 overtime game.
Or would we look at the team that lost and been like, you lost on not real football? That we would be if the
Can't
Jets
you
lost
say
an
that
AFC
now?
title game like that, you'd be going nuts.
First of all, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes,
I hate when people that you would be saying that. How would you know what I'd be saying in a championship game loss? Have I ever done that? Have I ever come on the radio and bitched about the Jets losing a game because of the weather? Have I ever done that?
No, but I just brought up an extreme circumstance. Yeah, the officials.
Did you just say just the officials?
Yeah, you bitch about the officials, not the weather.
I don't remember doing that. When did I do that?
Oh,
the Austin Safarian-Jenkins play against the Patriots in 2017.
All of those over the years.
Yeah, that one pissed me off, I have to admit. Alan Paramus, New Jersey, who's a big Patriots fan. Congratulations, Al.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Another one, but who's counting? The Patriots game plan. They did what Sean Payton should have done. They didn't want Drake May, their quarterback, to make a mistake. They didn't want him to fumble. They didn't want him to throw a pick. The Patriots played this game knowing that Stidham would make a mistake. We all knew he would make a mistake.
Yeah.
Except Sean Payton. That's another reason he should have kicked the field goal and gone up 10 and left everything to his defense. And I don't understand. And, during his interview, he looked like a deer in the headlights because I think he's the one that blew this game. You have a great defense. And, when you look at it in the fourth quarter, you could tell what the Patriots were doing. Drake May was just throwing the ball away on third down.
Yeah.
Saying,
no doubt. But that's because, but Al, it's because they had the lead prior to the storm. Yes. And that's the biggest argument Sean could actually make against weather games, that really what determined this game was how you played for the first 3 quarters. Correct. Because the game was completely different once the weather got crazy.
No, there's no doubt. You couldn't move the ball differently, and it wasn't about defenses anymore either in the fourth quarter. I thought that's what was interesting.
So I also want to be fair about a conversation me, Tiki, Sean, and even Loogie had at the beginning of the season. Prior to the season, we were playing a game. We're going to play this game again come August and September, and that's going through last-place teams and seeing who has the best chance to turn things around, okay? So we did do this back in September, late August, and we brought up the New England Patriots. So in fairness, would you like to hear how that brief conversation went?
Sure. Yes, let's.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Connor, if you have it, this is back in August or early September, us going through all the last-place teams and deciding who has the best chance to turn it all around. Here are the teams that finished in last place last year, and you tell me who jumps out at you as a playoff team. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
The New England Patriots.
Maybe with Vrabel.
BS. They're so overrated.
Probably, but maybe.
5-12.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. What were they? 14-3.
14-3. They have not lost a road game all season long.
Right.
And they're going to the Super Bowl. So
not 5-12.
Not 5-12.
Right.
And I do remember that Sean and Loogie were
At least I gave him a maybe.
You gave him a maybe. Sean and Loogie were high on them. I think you both had them as playoff teams, but I don't think either of you had them as Super Bowl teams.
I don't think most of New England had them as a Super Bowl team. In fact, is there a person in America that had Seahawks Patriots? Seriously, can you find one with a legitimate on-the-record prediction that had Seahawks Patriots?
Yeah, you want me to show it to you? I have it. All right,
Yeah.
come over, Spence. You want to admit to these guys? This was the negative of being at home. He's been insisting this all day. Spence, did you know that the Patriots would play the Seahawks in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
You predicted it?
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
Give me dollars.
Give you dollars? Why should we give you dollars?
I need it.
For what? What are you going to buy? Exactly.
Games.
What are you going to buy?
Games.
Oh, games? All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
Since 7.
All right, thank you, Spence. I appreciate it. It is. That's his return to the radio. He's been banned since late August when he interfered with the program and started screaming, "Give me dollars!" and jump. Oh boy, yes.
No, I wasn't.
No, you weren't. What? You were suspended. The bosses won't let you back in the office. You know that.
No, I wasn't.
So that's not true? All right. He's saying he wasn't suspended.
Man, that kid's got it with the mic. He's got confidence.
Hold on, one more. Go ahead. Okay, fine. Ladies and gentlemen, Spence Roberts.
The way he whispered that was amazing.
Yeah. Let's go to, let's say hi to our buddy Kendrick in Suffern. What's going on, Kendrick?
Hey, what's up, Kendrick?
Gentlemen, it's been a while. Obviously, the new time slot as a teacher makes it hard to call in, but Sean, I'm sure, would appreciate that I am home on a snow day, so I figured I had to jump on. So here I am. So real quick, because I don't get to call in as much, Evan, the Mets will be fine. Our Nets are doing exactly what we need to do, but I do want to talk about football.
Yes.
So yesterday, Sean Payton going for it. Tiki, you'd appreciate this. I was reading a study. It was on a podcast I heard, so I looked into it. You know, in soccer, a penalty kick is much less likely to score if it's for the game, right? So if the player is feeling the pressure that they miss, it's almost like 30% less likely that they make it than if it's just a penalty kick to continue the game.
Yeah,
And
like
why I bring that up is-
Sloboslai from Liverpool last week, where he just completely missed one and ended up drawing with a relegation level team. Sorry.
I totally agree, too.
I wish.
Exactly right.
I wish. I don't want to turn it to soccer, but I do want to turn it into the fourth quarter or going for it on fourth down in football, because I think Sean Sean McVay should have kicked the field goal because of that pressure situation. And I don't know if it's the same. No, seriously, because I don't know if it's the same as it would be in those moments when it's just one individual. But I do feel like the study needs to be looked at for fourth down plays, whether it's the game on the line versus going to put the jugular on the throat. Because Sean Payton, on the other hand, I was all for going for it. It was just the play call that was atrocious. But if they get that, they really could put the game away, and there wasn't much at risk, right? They did end up losing the game, but there wasn't much at risk. And then the other point I want to jump on here quickly, because I won't be able to talk much about the Jets here, is this. Wink Martindale coming in as the DC. I could not be more against it, guys, and here's why. Jesse Minter just got hired by the Ravens, and Mike McDonald is heading to the Super Bowl. When you look at the Ravens' defense under Harbaugh and Wink, they were top 2, top 3 in the league. Once those two guys went to Michigan and Seattle, that defense collapsed. So the last thing I need to see is another retread, older coach coming in. We have no other options here as a Jet fan, and after watching those 2 games last night, I mean, we are so far away from it, and congratulations to Sam Darnold, because you know what? He earned it, and I'm going to be rooting for the Seahawks because of that.
Well, yeah, you'll be rooting for the Seahawks because they're playing the Patriots. Right. I mean, we'd root for whoever. I was going to name something offensive, but you'd root for anything against the New England Patriots. We'll get into the Wink Martindale stuff because he is coming in for a second interview. And more than that, because I did not think that was the most significant piece of news about the Jets over the weekend. The other piece of news we will digest coming up at noon is the fact that Tanner Engstrand is no longer a guarantee to be the play caller for the New York Jets. And that is huge. I thought it was a small possibility. I didn't think it was a huge possibility. And also, the Giants were getting more clarity on their coordinators. In fact, we'll get into it coming up in just a few minutes. We'll continue to take your calls on all your opinions on Championship Sunday, the controversial calls, the weather, everything related to it at 888-808-1019. Plus, the crazy tale and the crazy roller coaster over the SNY Mets game producer who's gone. And now there's mysterious reasons on why. We'll fill you in on that as well. It's Evan and Tiki until the Carton Show coming up at 2 o'clock.
You guys know I'm always busy. Well, not this weekend because we're all snowed in. But I value feeling safe and, more importantly, keeping my family safe when I'm not with them. So we turn to our partners at Sloman's, who recently installed the Sloman Shield Link system into our home. It is a smart home solution that has been absolutely game-changing, combining safety, convenience, and peace of mind that I can manage right from my phone. Especially when we're locked in here, the one thing we'd like to do is jam a little bit, and the music can pump throughout every single room in our house thanks to the system that the Sloman's folks installed and perfectly designed for our needs. Heck, if I'm on the road, I can turn on the music and scare my wife in the bedroom. Experience the future of home security and automation with the Sloman Shield Link system. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit slomans.com.
This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ. Precision cooking, effortless results. ChefIQ.com. The storybook last couple months for Phillip Rivers, well, it appears to be coming to an end. The recently unretired quarterback has withdrawn his name from the Bills' head coaching search after interviewing with the team, according to Diana Rossini, leaving lots of rumors about Brian Daboll taking over in Buffalo to chew on today. This Fan Focus was sponsored by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
The AFC Championship game with New England beating Denver 10-7 was one of the worst conference championship games I've ever watched, and it had nothing to do with the weather at the end of the game. This was a poorly played football game while the conditions were good. Expect much better from a conference championship game. Look at what we got in the NFC game with Seattle and Los Angeles. Nothing to do with the weather. Patriots and Broncos, an absolutely brutal watch. I'm Nick Costos.
Lowe's knows how to turn big plans into real results. Whether it's new appliances or a home refresh, get started with 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more with a MyLowe's Rewards credit card, January 15th through the 30th. So you can invest in your upgrade now and pay over time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payment required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
I hope that Alliance Orthopedics stands for the way healthcare should be performed.
Alliance Orthopedics COO Dr. Brian Aquaro on what makes Alliance Ortho New Jersey so special.
We have the team members, the ability, the passion to really become something that everybody else is not doing.
Alliance Orthopedics gets you better every day. Check the reviews. You will restore function and reduce pain quicker at New Jersey locations near you.
And I want patients to look at us and say, like, you have to go there because these guys are doing it right.
Experience getting better every day at allianceortho.com.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ Soft Serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into Soft Serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
And we're out, back in 60.
Hey, what are you eating?
Chimichurri filet mignon. It's a Factor meal.
Oh, nice. Wait, they let you eat like that in the pros?
Oh, they insist on it. A pro's work starts on the plate.
Oh, man, that does look good. Let me have a taste?
Get your own.
All right. Where do I find this? Is it factormeals.com?
Yep, and they've got a deal going on.
Oh, love a deal. I am so in.
Smart move. Pro move.
All right. Factor. Eat like a pro. Just one drive in a Mercedes-Benz, you'll understand why it's a gift that keeps on giving. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration lives on at Mercedes-Benz of Edison. Choose from over 500 vehicles and experience the love during the extended Holiday Love Celebration at Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
Visit your local Kia dealers to discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. It's the perfect balance of quality, dependability, power, and style. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Hi, it's Sal Licata here for CertaPro Painters. You know, my home is a very happy place, especially when my wife is satisfied. And while that's not an easy thing for me to achieve, my friends at CertaPro Painters had no such problems. Big jobs, small jobs, the good folks at CertaPro Painters are at your service. If you've been putting off a painting project, give them a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C, and you'll see exactly what I mean. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com.
Nobody beats a Town Fair tire deal. And I mean nobody. So if you're looking for Michelin tires at the guaranteed lowest price, get to Town Fair today. Michelin winter tires offer a shorter stopping distance on ice and snow, along with predictable handling in cold, dry, and wet wintry conditions. For the guaranteed lowest price and free services for life on Michelin tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Boomer here. If you care about cooking your meat to perfection as much as I do, the IQ Sense Smart Meat Thermometer from Chef IQ wirelessly monitors your food's internal temperature in real time and pairs with the Chef IQ app to tell you when it's time to flip, rest, and serve. So there's no guesswork. There's no overcooking. Just perfect USDA safe temps every single time. It even connects to the new Chef IQ mini oven for hands-off precision cooking. So why not grab yours today at chefiq.com, code word BOOMER to save 30% at checkout.
You know how powerful you are. And when it comes to your network, you need one just as powerful. Take your phone to your local Total Wireless store, and we'll give you one line for just $25 a month. Getting more for spending less? Now that's a total power move. Visit your neighborhood Total Wireless store. For new single-line customers who activate on a BYO device on the Total 5G Unlimited plan. Requires auto-pay enrollment to receive the full discount, which applies the month after enrollment. Available online and in Total Wireless retail stores. Requires a compatible unlock device and SIM. Check compatibility at TotalWireless.com.
Wake up with Boomer and Geo. Mornings 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Couple of minutes in front of 12 noon on a Monday afternoon, a snow day for many of our kids. I think all our kids, right? I don't think any schools are open. Did Mom Donnie finally close down the schools?
No.
What?
No, he did not. But from what I understand, the high school kids in city schools, it was Regents Day anyway, so they already didn't have school. So it's more about the younger kids.
Good.
Thank you, Mom Donnie.
Wow.
So your kid's technically at school today?
No, New York City.
New York City.
Oh, City. Right.
Yeah, we are
the
on
state.
the outskirts. I'm in Westchester. Sean's on the island. Obviously, Tiki's in Jersey. That's crazy. So on Friday, there were rumors, or not rumors, there was an email from the school district my kids go to that they were going to have a Zoom day. Mm-hmm. And I was against it. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I understand if you miss a week of school because of weather to bring in the Zoom, the pandemic, bring in the Zoom, fine. We don't have that many snow days. This is a real snow day. Give the kids a snow day. Don't give me this Zoom crap. And then when the kids got home on Friday, that was the first thing my oldest son told me. He's like, yeah, they canceled the Zoom. We're getting a real snow day. And I said, thankfully. I mean, what are we doing? Zoom.
No. Yeah. You have these built in. So you might as well give the kids the day off.
Absolutely.
Made for a late Sunday night.
Yeah, and they make up half days at the end of the year anyway. You know, all of a sudden those come out of nowhere. So who cares? Give them the snow day today.
I agree with you. Now, before we get back to your phone calls, a lot more reaction to Championship Sunday. We'll go down the real rabbit hole of what happened to that SNY producer. But Connor Hughes whipped out a tweet over the weekend that I'm not going to say stunned by. I would say I was mildly surprised by. And that was the fact that Tanner Engstrand is not expected to call plays in 2026, according to sources. Mm-hmm. While the Jets are still determining his role, a new play caller is expected to be added to the staff. And the one name that he's attached to this job for now is Frank Reich. And Frank, of course, was the OC during the Nick Foles run. He had some success with Indianapolis, but he also has a weird distinction. I don't know how many guys have done this, Teague. He was fired mid-season as head coach in back-to-back years.
Yeah,
how often can that happen?
Yeah, it's circumstantial. I think Frank Reich is a good offensive mind, and obviously it was failures in Indy mostly because they could never find a quarterback for him, and then ultimately he gets hired by the Carolina Panthers, and he wants, for his own sake, he's trying to win right away. Right. And they have a rookie quarterback in Bryce Young. And so it didn't really make sense for him to be the head coach in Carolina. So I get why he got fired in Carolina. And the circumstances in Indy were just rough. So I don't think it heavily weighs on his reputation as an offensive play caller.
I do not mind this, and that's how I would phrase it. I'm not against it. I'm not partying. I do not mind this. I definitely like the idea that even though this makes Aaron Glenn look bad, that he's basically removing all of the initial decisions he made to his coaching staff, I think what most people do is they double down on mistakes. And instead of admitting it after 1 year in which you look bad, you just defend your guys endlessly and you run it back. Right. So while this does make Aaron Glenn look bad, and it's a very easy take to just say, well, why didn't you fire the guy if every hire he made was wrong? I still appreciate him doing this more than I do him running it back. But my concern, Tiki, and I hate to put Frank Reich in this basket, but is Aaron Glenn truly picking from the best and the brightest? Like, is he truly going to get the best young potential candidates? Or, like the case of Frank Reich and the case of Wink Martindale, you're getting guys who are good, but you're also getting guys who may not exactly have a robust market.
Okay, so you're probably right. Now, this isn't a pick your latest 38-year-old wonder kid offensive play caller. This is not what this is with Frank Reich. But I think there's a different consideration that you have to think about. Aaron Glenn struggled as a head coach last year, and we saw it from the very beginning to the handling of the media, to some of the decisions in game. All of those things became challenging for him to the point where there was a handful, I wouldn't say it was a majority, of Jets and those around the Jets fandom who wanted him fired. Like, he should be a one-and-done coach.
Yeah.
And so when you are necessarily, and that's the right word, necessarily making changes to your offensive staff and defensive staff because they simply weren't good enough, you have to bring in some kind of experience. And Frank Reich has experience as a head coach. Frank Reich is 64 years old. I don't know if he's ever getting another shot as a head coach. And so you bring him in not only to be your offensive coordinator, but I think also to help Aaron Glenn, if he shows some humility instead of being a know-it-all, how to be a head coach. Like, you have to learn sometimes how to be a head coach. And I think Frank Reich can help him do that if that's the case.
That's why I think, I'll use a baseball analogy, it's a single to center field. Like, these moves, hiring Wink Martindale, I am not against it the way Kendrick was, one of our more previous phone callers. I think Wink Martindale's a solid hire. I do. I think Frank Reich is a solid hire, and I think you laid out some of the reasons why. The leadership, the veteran nature of them, Frank Reich having the experience as a head coach. But they're not my dream hires. And I'll be specific. I'll tell you what my dream hires are, specifically for offense and defense, that are not singles to center field, but in my opinion, 3-run home runs. Number one, Jimmy Leonard on defense. I've made that perfectly clear for weeks now, and I was told by Big Talking Sean, why would he take the Jet job? He's going to take the Giant job. Well, you guys are hiring a defensive coordinator, which we'll get to in a minute, by the way, and it's a good hire, nothing against him, but you didn't get Jim Leonard. The Green Bay Packers didn't get Jim Leonard. They're hiring Jonathan Gannon. So unless Jim Leonard, and by the way, if I missed the report, certainly let me know, unless he's just saying, screw it, I'm not going to take a DC job, the Jet job is still available for him. It hasn't been filled. He would be my number one choice. On offense, my number one choice would be Cliff Kingsbury, who can provide some of the similar things that Frank Reich provides. He's coached before. He's had success. He's had his failures. He's also developed young quarterbacks.
Yeah, but Evan, he's a threat.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Did you just say that, though, or are you now throwing this in?
No, I'm just telling you. But I basically said Frank Reich at 64 is not going to get another head coaching opportunity.
So that's what you meant by that?
That's exactly what I meant by that.
Okay, because I heard that, but I didn't hear you say it as bluntly as you just did, which is the guy's a threat for Aaron Glenn's job, which is what you're saying now.
He becomes all right, we're underperforming week 8 or 9. You know what? We're firing Aaron Glenn, and Cliff Kingsbury is going to be our interim head coach with a chance to be our long-term head coach.
I get it. I get it.
That's not the case. That's not the case with Frank Reich.
You are not wrong. I am just explaining that to me would be a grand slam. Would you agree if Aaron Glenn was humble enough to do that would be a grand slam? Okay.
100%. Now, again, a lot of this is going to also depend on who the quarterback is, right? I think when you look at some of the maneuverings around the league, and this is all these head coaching hires. Dabes is one, and whether or not he was going to go back to Philly, which we don't really know why he kind of pulled out of that. And I can only speculate it's because he's a loyal New York Giant head coach. But I know he really wants the Bills job, and it makes perfect sense because that's where he's from. Josh Allen had some of his early great developmental years there, and it just makes sense. And if not, he's going to go be the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans under Robert Saleh. But for certain guys, I think that where you go matters. Like Mike McDaniel, right? He didn't want to go to Cleveland because that quarterback situation is a cluster. Like, he doesn't want to go someplace that has a quarterback that he can't craft. Like, there's precision in what he wants to do offensively. Mike McDaniel is what I'm talking about. And if you have a good quarterback who can execute those things, then you're going to have a ton of success and be a head coaching candidate again in a year or two. And that's why he chose to go to San Diego or the Los Angeles Chargers. And so right now, if I'm looking at the Jets, is that an ideal situation for you, offensively or defensively?
No, I mean, the way I twisted it for Brian Flores earlier in this process, and obviously Brian staying in Minnesota unless he gets a head coaching job, and probably was the big name coordinator that wouldn't even interview that Connor Hughes alluded to a week ago. That's my guess. But my pitch to Brian Flores, since he's a New Yorker and maybe was listening, is if you ever turn this defense into a mediocre defense, it's only going to enhance your status because the bar is so low.
Yeah, but Flores doesn't need that. He doesn't need that.
No, you're right. You're right.
He doesn't need any more positives on his resume. It is spoken for itself over.
You're right.
his years.
But the two other enhancers I had besides that was he's a New Yorker. Maybe he just wants to be here. And number two, the threat to Aaron Glenn, that he could ultimately replace him, which is probably why
he would be the threat to Aaron Glenn.
Of course, which is probably why Glenn may never had a serious interest in him, and which is why Wink Martindale and Frank Reich are the two veterans they're bringing in. They're not bad hires. That's why it's not a double play. It's not a strikeout. It's a single to left. It's all right. Okay, I got a couple of veterans in there, but if ultimately the reason it's them and not others is the threat aspect, that's not good. That's not good for the Jets organization moving forward.
But that is reality.
Yeah.
That is the reality of it.
By the way, real quick, Phillip Rivers has taken his name out of the Buffalo Bill job. We mentioned on Friday when that story came out about Rivers interviewing for the job and maybe him being a real threat to Brian Daboll to get it for whatever reason. Maybe Phillip realized he'd rather coach high school or be with his kids. Who the hell knows? Phillip Rivers has said, I'm out on the Buffalo job. So we'll wait and see. But I think, Tiki, your initial prediction of Brian Daboll seems like the safest bet as of right now.
I don't even know who's still in the running up there. I mean, it's kind of quiet other than Dabe's.
Yeah, Anthony Lynn, I think, was the other one that they really talked to. But you're right; it's like the weirdest coaching search.
I know, because probably they probably had who they wanted in mind already, and so he's available, and you go through the process that is interviewing minorities, etc. According to the Rooney Rule, get a couple of other maybes in there that you might hire as coordinators, and then you go with a guy who you have familiarity with, that's familiar with the organization, and had some really good success as a coordinator.
It makes sense. Makes sense on paper. Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, I'm interested now that the Rams are out. If Chris Shula, who was like this hot name all year, now picks up steam on the Raiders or Bills, or even now they're in the Super Bowl, Clint Kubiak's got to be skyrocketing up here. And maybe that's, a match here for the Buffalo Bills, and they're in no rush right now.
All right, what do you guys think of Denard Wilson, who is the new defensive coordinator of the New York Giants?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about him schematically and what he's going to do, but I do know that there is familiarity. I like the fact that he's young. He's been with John Harbaugh before. He's been a coordinator before. He was at the Eagles, and so the Eagles have under Fangio. So like he's got good mentors on his resume. But as far as what his defense is going to look like, I have no idea. I didn't watch much of Tennessee over the last couple of years because they just were bad watches, so to speak. So I don't know what his scheme's going to look like, but I know that there's a trust from John Harbaugh. And again, this goes back to the conversation we had last week about John Harbaugh and his staff. You almost just kind of have to trust him because of how good he's been over his 18 years as a head coach.
He's had zero talent at the pass rush situation in Tennessee, which has hurt their points given up per game. He doesn't blitz a ton. He's a guy who likes to send 5 maybe at a max. Maybe that changes a little bit with some of the guys the Giants have in their secondary. And it's a lot of communication from the secondary. I'll say this, the Eagles players, and there was a few of them on record, all wanted him to become promoted to the defensive coordinator when Jonathan Gannon took the Cardinal job. The Eagles chose to go in a different direction. He left, and Denard Wilson was like the guy Giant fans wanted when they hired Shane Bowen, and he opted to go to Tennessee to replace Shane Bowen, which was interesting.
Right. Earlier in the show, Sean made an accusation at me that if the Jets ever lost a championship game, with weather being the reason, that I would bitch about it and maybe even change my opinion about loving the conditions impacting games. And I got mad at him. I said, you don't know that. There's never been an example of it. How do you know? And obviously, there is a game like that in Jets history. The problem was I was -1. I wasn't born yet. But that, of course, was the AFC Championship game between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins, named the Mud Bowl. The A.J. Dewey is still running game, as Joe B has called it. And so people have asked me, what would I have done? Like, Joe has blamed it on Don Shula, has blamed it on the tarp not being on the field and the conditions. Now, it's never made Joe say we should have domes everywhere, but he has made it very clear that he holds a grudge against Shula for that decision. And what I always said to Joe, and I admit I didn't experience it, I'm talking about it as a historical moment, not something that impacted me, was as much as that sucks, Don Shula was right. He had every right to take advantage of his home field advantage by muddying up the field more, thinking that would benefit the Dolphins more than the Jets. So would I have been upset by losing that game? Of course I'd be upset, but I don't think I'd be blaming it squarely on that. And I would say, hey, next time, if we have home field advantage, we would be able to control that more than giving it to Miami where they had the control over it. So it doesn't prove my point because I wasn't around. I know that. But that's what I've always said whenever talking about the Mud Bowl between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins.
But it was also years ago. Like, I never felt this way about weather 20 years ago. My opinion has just evolved the more I watch football and the more I compare the games, the big games like yesterday in Seattle when weather is not a factor. And the more I'm inclined to go, yeah, I'm really entertained by snow, but in the end, this really isn't right. When I cringe when people go, well, that's football weather. No, it's not. Football weather is full, 50 degrees, a slight breeze. Football weather is not snow.
Who are you to decide that? Who are you the definer of what football weather is?
Somebody that's watched
crazy
football
statement.
my whole life. When do we start football? We start football at the end of summer in fall. That's football weather.
But, Sean, we've had NFL championship games long before we were born that were in snowstorms, that were in cold conditions. Remember the sneaker game with the Giants?
Okay.
How do you have the audacity to say this is football weather? Football's been going around for over 100 years, and we've had plenty of examples long before we were here in which conditions are bad. So who are you as the arbiter on what football weather is?
I'm going to checkmate your ass right now, okay? Because we all, I think, could agree in the northern part of the country that the sturdy months of winter are December, January, February, March. Would you go there?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Okay. So why are we starting the season in September then? If that's football weather, just play the whole damn thing in December, January, February, March, and then we get the Super Bowl at the end of March.
I'll checkmate you. If football weather truly is the fall, why not start it earlier so we never run into December and January?
Because it's too hot in August and players can literally collapse.
That's right, because you're the arbiter of what football weather is.
I love this debate between two guys who never did it.
I mean, Tiki, listen, I strapped on those flags plenty of times.
Trust me, I played in Arizona in September. Like those, because when they were in the NFC East, remember the Arizona Cardinals were East for some reason. We'd go there in September, and it was brutal. I remember having IVs. It was the only time in my career I had to get an IV in the middle of a game.
So checkmate all of us, and I will not fight with you. I will let you get the victory in this, Tiki. What's football weather then?
Football weather is late fall.
God damn it!
It's just cold.
Yeah.
It's you're playing mental games with the other team. My offensive lineman would be like, Tiki, you're not wearing sleeves, dude. You're one of us. And so it shows you're tough. It's just psychological nonsense that comes from being in these freezing conditions and weathering it. So,
kind of sounds like you agree with me though by the end because you're talking about freezing conditions. That's not late fall. That's winter.
Look, to me, it's 52 degrees. Basically, marathon weather for me is football weather. You know what I mean? Where it's like 40 to 55. That's perfect. No wind though, because wind is just brutal.
Fair enough. From the guy who played it to the two guys who just never played it, even though Sean claims he played flag football once, so he's a pro. I'll freely admit I don't play it, other than tackling my kids in the snow and claiming it's football. Let's get back to your calls, 888-808-1019. Let's go to Tracy in Brick, New Jersey. Good afternoon, Tracy.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
We're good.
Good.
For your program. And, Tiki, I want to say something slightly different than most people say to you. Wahoo wah.
Wahoo wah. I love that. My UVA sister down there.
Yep. So I lived in Colorado, Denver, for about 30 years, and there are two types of snow blizzards there. Speaking generally, there is the one that sets up in the southeast part of the state and just dumps snow for hours and hours and hours. Then there was the one that was yesterday, where it blows in from nowhere, which I was reading yesterday. It comes over the mountains instead of from the south. And it acts like a blizzard and the ends of the world for about an hour, and then it goes away.
Crazy.
And
wow.
I was actually thinking, I always look at the weather before the games, and I saw that there was supposed to be something. I saw it was going to be for an hour, and I thought exactly that when he didn't kick the field goal. I thought, this would be a good time to just go ahead and get some points.
Yeah. So what you're saying,
give you
Tracy,
credit.
is that he should have known this weather was coming.
Well, yes. It's not uncommon for people out there to know that.
Right. But, I mean, he's only been there for 3 years, 4 years, whatever.
No one asked the question, though. And it was an interesting question
right.
in the postgame, which is, did you have any idea that it could turn into this? Because it does change your view. It does change how aggressive you should be on a 4th and 1 with a 7-0 lead. There's no
you're
doubt.
right. But it sounds like what Tracy was saying also, though, was that snowstorm comes out of nowhere. So maybe you didn't know, even if there was an inkling. You're probably just hoping. I think it's more like, all right, maybe this thing happens, but let's just hope it's going to be after. We're not necessarily worried about it.
Greg is in Mastic Beach. Good afternoon, Greg. Hello, Greg.
Greg
going once. I think Greg is not paying attention, so we'll be nice. We'll put him on hold. Let's go to Lee on Long Island. What's up, Lee?
What's up, gentlemen? How we doing today? Happy snow day.
Happy snow day. What's up?
All right. So I had 2 quick points. One about the Jets and one about Darnold. I wanted to get the Darnold one out of the way first because I heard you guys talking about like what's more embarrassing, and I really think that part of why you think the Saquon thing is more embarrassing is 2 reasons. One, it was a division rival, and 2, it was less than like 11 months later. It was like really fresh in your mind. You know, Sam Darnold's been gone for a few years, but nobody goes into the draft looking for a franchise running back anymore. They go into the draft looking for a franchise quarterback.
Well,
and
I think I'll interrupt you for 1 second. The only one who's done it recently was the Detroit Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs. He was the only one.
But that's the exception to the rule nowadays.
Right.
Where it used to be the rule back in the day. You know,
That's
it's a
very
different era. And you know, with Sam Darnold, and I am wishing him well, and I do root for him. The reason it's so bad is because it wasn't just that the Jets didn't like re-sign him; they ran him out of town and scapegoated him for all their failures. Mm-hmm. He was the scapegoat. And they could not wait to run up to that podium after tanking and scapegoating him to draft Zach Wilson, which just shows you the absolute ineptitude of the organization. And so that's why it's a little bit more embarrassing. You know, if the Giants go the next 10 years and they never have a running back, then maybe you'd say something. But it's not the same thing with a quarterback. So that's why.
No, I get that, and I think that was a main point that Sean made, and it's true. It's more damaging to not have a quarterback. But the other aspect is it's administrations ago. Like when I even tweeted last night, congrats to Sam. Because not that he gives a crap. I mean, honestly, why did I tweet congrats to Sam? Who cares? But I did tweet congrats to Sam. I wish we had better coaching. I wish that we were able to develop him more. Those coaches I'm bitching about are not here. I'm talking about Todd Bowles. He's not here. I'm talking about Adam Gase. He's not here. And I guess I am partially talking about Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh for not giving it a shot. But I want to be fair. Even though I didn't run Sam out of town, I was very lukewarm about moving on from him. I remember when the trade was announced, I was even kind of emotional about it. Like, man, I really thought this was the guy, and now we're trading him away. It was going to be really difficult for Sam Darnold to return with another head coach and another offensive coordinator entering his 4th season. That was going to be unique. He didn't have the blank slate that Zach Wilson had. So it would have been tough to make that decision by Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh.
No, I agree. I think you're right because who knows, because the lack of success, now you're putting another coach with this quarterback saying, yeah, trust us. We drafted him at number 3. We drafted him in the first round. He's going to be good. And then if you're Robert Saleh, your obvious first question is, well, what proof do you have?
Right.
Show me. Why should I believe what you're telling me? And there wasn't a lot on film to tell you that.
Let us go to Barry, who's calling from Los Angeles. What's going on, Barry?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
Thank
Huge Giants fan. But one thing no one's mentioned, and I we mentioned it years ago, but another reason that I hated Gettleman was we had a chance at Sam Darnold. And the situation for Sam Darnold coming, I've always rooted for him. And I always thought he was going to be good. And I can't prove that except if you were a friend of mine. But at the time, he was right there. We had Pat Shurmur coming in, and we had Eli.
Yeah.
He could have sat behind Eli for a year or two, and I think his career could have taken off. And I've never forgiven Gettleman for that. And
it's a great point. I mean, you guys, the Giant guys, do you think of that anymore? And what'd you think at the time?
I don't, because I realized what Dave was trying to do. I need to extend as long as I can this historic career of Eli Manning. And so you draft Saquon Barkley. And so I get it, but it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Now that it's not Saquon's fault because he was Rookie of the Year. So he did what he was supposed to do. It was the rest of the team that didn't.
You know whose fault it was? I may give you a unique take, though Sean has thought of every angle from the Giants, so it's possible he has thought about this. I blame for the Giants not selecting Sam Darnold and ultimately selecting Saquon Barkley. I blame it on Ben McAdoo.
Oh. Why?
Why? Great question, Teak. Sean, you're reacting like I just punched you or did something horrible. Do you know why I feel that way?
The Geno Smith thing?
Bingo.
Yeah. I thought you were going to blame it on Mike Francesa because of that.
No, has nothing to do. I'm not blaming this on Mike. I am blaming this on the sloppiness of the Eli benching led to the Giants as an organization being gun-shy on replacing Eli Manning, and they waited. And they waited another year, and then when it was obvious, they obviously did what they did with Daniel Jones. But in a year that was loaded with quarterbacks, and the Giants were picking two, I believe they would have taken a maybe not Sam Darnold, by the way. I don't know who they would have taken, but I believe they would have taken a quarterback if not for the clunky benching of Eli Manning from Ben McAdoo. Tell me where I'm telling lies.
Well, I've never thought of that, but it makes sense.
Thank you.
It really does.
It's a great take. It's a great take. And the Giants' issue from that draft still remains. Not that they didn't take Sam Darnold, not that they didn't take Lamar Jackson, not that they didn't take Josh Allen. It was if they weren't going to take him, think of the Jets trading up to 3 knowing Darnold would be there. The Giants just simply not answering to trade calls and being stubborn and taking Saquon Barkley was their biggest mistake with that draft, more than not taking the quarterback.
Right.
Quick baseball point on this football day from John and Maspeth. What do you have on your mind today, John?
How's it going, fellas? I'm over here watching you guys on YouTube. I got the comments going on the TV over here, people talking trash. Evan, someone said you look like a corpse without the studio lighting. Tiki, someone said that you look baked. But anyways, these comments are pretty crazy. But
that's funny.
Yeah, so over the week, so anyways, and Sean, kudos to you for sticking up to Boomer.
Yeah, he's a bully.
He called him Mamdani.
Yeah.
Like
that's not what I said.
You said he's Mamdani, which to Boomer is like.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
Thank you, Mamdani. Thank you, Mamdani.
All right, so to my baseball point. So over the weekend on Instagram, MLB Network posted a graphic of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge in their Yankees uniforms from 2024 season. And had their stats. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, Juan Soto reposted it. Now, this upset a lot of Mets fans, and it only reinforces the fact that Juan Soto does miss being a Yankee, and likely, the more than not likely, also misses being a Yankee. So, obviously the Mets clubhouse is very much broken and in disarray.
All right.
And, come on. All
right, John, I've had enough. What can I tell you? Thank you. Juan Soto appreciates his old friend. I've got more juicy stuff baseball related. Are you ready for this?
Tell us.
So I think they were announcing, I think it's the Sports Writers Dinner. I forget what it is. But they were announcing to them the MVPs and Cy Young were presenting the awards to them in New York City, I think, over the weekend. So Shohei Ohtani was there. He got his award. Aaron Judge was there. He got his award. Tarek Skubal was there. He got his award. Paul Skeens was there. Bored us all to death. Got his award. And so there was an award ceremony over the weekend. Okay? Stick with me here. Okay. Anthony Rizzo was the one to introduce Aaron Judge because Anthony Rizzo has a really good relationship with Aaron Judge. I got to play for you his intro because Anthony Rizzo has an opinion. And Anthony Rizzo listens to this radio station. Uh-oh. And Anthony Rizzo had a message for Tommy Lugauer. Anthony Rizzo had a message even for me. Anthony Rizzo had a message for Al Cintron. Anthony Rizzo had a mention or had a message for Knicks fans. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is Anthony Rizzo introducing Aaron Judge over the weekend.
Tonight we honor an MVP season. But this room really knows is that baseball is better because Aaron Judge is in it. So ladies and gentlemen, please stand up Give him a round of applause for your captain of the New York Yankees, the King of New York, Aaron Judge.
How about that?
Wow.
On his own, whips out a King of New York. Your thoughts?
I mean, I'm
he's
jacked
right.
up for it. Yeah.
He's right. Jalen Brunson can't take it right. Can't claim it right now.
He cannot. How about Anthony Rizzo chiming in on the 2-year-long debate of who is the King of New York? Anthony Rizzo says it's King Aaron Judge, and he does it. And by the way, I saw the video. The smile on Aaron's face, it was like, you're damn right. Screw you, Jalen Brunson.
Anthony Rizzo sounds like a guy who's watched the Knicks for the last month, so that's good.
Hey, the Knicks have gotten hot. The Nets got them hot. They've won a couple of games in a row, including beating the Philadelphia 76ers with the help of the officials. But hey, a win's a win. Am I right?
It's a good Saturday afternoon.
That's right. By the way, the best part of that game I'll share with you later on in the show. Ryan Ruocco got incredibly dirty. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Ryan, I heard it. And all I've got to say is touche, my man, touche. We'll play that a little bit later on. Sean's got his Cinco list in a few minutes, plus more of your phone calls at 888-808-1019. It is Evan and Tiki on an incredibly busy Monday in the greatest city in the world.
A new year means new goals. Whether you're back in the gym or taking up a new activity like pickleball, our partners at JAG Physical Therapy remind you to ease in, warm up, and build a safe foundation for success. Of course, if you or a loved one have any pain or get injured, turn to John Gallucci Jr. and his expert team at JAG Physical Therapy, who are dedicated to getting you back to the life you love. JAG is the leader in physical and occupational therapy with convenient locations all across New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. To schedule an appointment is easy. Just go to jagpt.com today. That's JAGPT.com.
And this portion of the program is sponsored by Ray Katina Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
It's official. The Giants have their man. John Harbaugh will take the helm and look to lead the Giants back to prominence.
I want you to be proud of what you see. I want you to watch a football team out there that you can brag about. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, this is my team. This is the way they play, and I can relate to these guys and how they play. That's what I want. I want them to be happy. I want them to be fired up about their team.
Yeah.
I want them to look at a team and say, man, these guys are what I'm about. You know, that would be my message to them.
Yeah.
We got to get there. We got to earn that.
No station gets you big blue news like The Fan. We're your official home for everything New York Giants. 101.9 FM WFAN.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues. Live from Australia. Featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski.
He is an animal.
Defends his belt at home in an explosive rematch against Diego Lopez.
You gotta be kidding me!
And the always dangerous Dan Hooker. Yes. Throws down with powerhouse Ben Washington in a high-action lightweight showdown.
Oh! There's never been anything like this.
Let's go. UFC 325, Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, 2025 Murano, or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 2/2/26.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Hey, healthcare workers of New York, are you looking to make a difference? Downtown Brooklyn Nursing and Rehabilitation Center is actively hiring nurses and CNAs. Call 718-636-1000. That's 718-636-1000.
Looking for the lowest price on name brand tires? Get to Town Fair Tire and get the guaranteed lowest price on any name brand tire. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
It's Tiki Barber with 2 words any business owner wants to hear. Extra income. Amazon Hub Delivery is looking for New York businesses to assist with local deliveries. You get paid for each package delivered. Amazon Hub Delivery has no startup costs, no long-term contracts, and no delivery experience required. If you're a New York business ready to assist with local deliveries, sign up today at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
When this happened, you talked about it on The Fan.
I would like to introduce to you the next head football coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
We're here with one mission: to become, to earn the right to be called the world champions in New York.
When New York sports happens, talk about it here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
I just heard the craziest, most radical idea in the National Football League to help battle against bad weather games, okay? And you got to be open-minded because this is nuts, all right? This is actually the craziest idea I've ever heard. Obviously, for those that are just tuning in, we've talked a lot about the game in Denver between the Patriots and the Broncos and how the weather greatly impacted the game. I loved it. It was very enjoyable. Didn't love the result, but obviously the game was highly entertaining. Sean disagrees. This is a debate we've had many times over the years on this show, on this station. So the idea is to realign the NFL with 2 conferences based on good weather and bad weather. What? That's right. That's right. So all the outdoor bad weather, because obviously a team like Minnesota can be in the good weather conference because they play in a dome. So you take all the domed teams as well as the warm weather teams, and they are in one conference. And all the cold weather teams are in a bad conference. So a championship game will always be decided Yes, in cold weather, but between two teams that are familiar with it.
That's so stupid. Are you kidding?
What? Stupid? You don't think that's brilliant?
I mean, it's just it doesn't make any sense to align based on weather because the weather is unpredictable. You have no idea. It could be. I mean, what's it in Denver today? What's the weather?
Denver's a tricky one because it can go either way. Carolina too, like
exactly. So what are we talking about? Carolina just got ice and snow like we did.
By the way, I didn't have enough time because this idea was just sent to me to actually go through the list of teams and figure out who would be where. Because obviously Dallas is in a nice weather place, right? Washington's getting a dome. If they're getting a dome, then they're in a warm weather place. And so the Jets and Giants would be in the same division, which would be kind of crazy.
I think bad weather would include the Dolphins, Bucks, and Panthers, though, because you still get rain and stuff and wind.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Maybe it would. Maybe you're right. So, yeah, drop that idea down as one of those crazy opinions that is probably stupid but sort of makes sense. Tiki hates it.
No, I completely hate it.
Sean, what do you think? What's your honest opinion before you give us this Cinco?
I don't want to ever ruin the rivalries we have within divisions. So that's going to supersede everything, but I don't think it's as crazy as it sounds because it's hard to complain if your team is openly in like the bad weather conference. You could have built a dome, you could have had stadiums.
Absolutely.
But I still imagine no Giants-Cowboys games. Like, what are we doing?
Well, you know what? Then maybe the Mara family and the Tisch family should leave MetLife Stadium and build a dome. There you go. And then you could go to the new conference. So that's it. It almost encourages you. All right, go get the dome. You go to the new conference. Anyhow, yes, that's a crazy idea that I just received in the Rico B mailbag. Let me see the guy's name. Richard. So good idea, Richard. Anyhow, it's lunchtime, Sean. Feed us.
All right.
Sean Moraes in the booth. Somebody hide the castle. Optics flying, phones ringing, Evans yelling. No! Tiki's laughing, chaos cracking, nobody's in control. It's Cinco de Roncho. Bam! Crunch! Let's go!
Oh, yeah. Cinco de Luncho is brought to you by Helix Wireless, connecting everything everywhere. And I got to be honest, my wife brought me down a leftover pork loin sandwich, slow roasted on this roll I just had. Holy crap. So I've already enjoyed my Cinco de Luncho. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Perks of a leftover sandwich. All right. The 5 teams in order who should have Sam Darnold regrets. Okay, let's end this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Here we go!
Number 5.
How about the Cleveland Browns? They took Baker Mayfield 1. Is Sam officially better than Baker? He got to a Super Bowl. They could have had Sam.
I don't know if that answer would have been Sam until recently. Like, I think earlier this regular season, if I asked Tiki and most people, who do you take, Baker or Sam? I think Baker had the edge. I think the way the season ended for Tampa and obviously what's gone on with Seattle probably changes that view. But I think a lot of people still had Baker ahead of Sam.
Yeah, I think you're right, especially if the Buccaneers season hadn't fallen apart and they were not say they were getting to the NFC Championship game, but if they were just competitive, I think people would still say Baker.
Probably right, but that's why they're 5. All right, here we go.
Number 4.
The 49ers. Can we start to have a who's better, Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy conversation? They had him in the building. I think Kyle Shanahan is what fixed Sam Darnold before he got to Minnesota. I know KOC's taking a lot of credit for that. But, I mean, the Niners are a team now that you're begging to get back to a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold's there. You're not.
That would have taken incredible cojones to do.
Of course it would have.
Also, I don't think that the reason the 49ers aren't there is because of their quarterback. It's
agree.
not Brock Purdy's fault. They've had too many injuries everywhere.
That's why they're 4 and not higher up the list. Here we go.
Number 3.
And by the way, including to him for a lot of this season.
Yeah. Keep an eye on Mac Jones' offseason. Number 3, Carolina, the Carolina Panthers. Now, look, at least they got back to the playoffs this year with Bryce, but still plenty of questions at that quarterback position. They were the ones that got the leftovers from the Jets, and they, too, did not have the infrastructure to support a Sam Darnold and Grumman.
And keep 2 things in mind about Carolina. Number 1, they had Baker Mayfield there as well, which is pretty crazy. And they gave up a lot to get Sam. So this isn't one of those, hey, let's take a lottery tickets out the way the Jets did with Justin Fields. They gave up a second-round pick for Sam Darnold. So obviously they had a high view of him. If you're giving up a second-round pick, you believe he's the answer.
All right, here we go.
Number 2.
It's the Minnesota Vikings. And look, I understand that before they brought Sam Darnold in, or right when they brought Sam Darnold in, they drafted a quarterback in the first round that was always going to be their future. But in hindsight, you have a quarterback that wins that many games, gets you to the playoffs, and you basically make a decision because of the final 2 games in that January for the Minnesota Vikings. This could be them right now. They could be in the Super Bowl right now.
I'll let you finish. It's absolutely embarrassing and shows your bias that you're going to put the Jets ahead of the Vikings. But fine, go finish your stupid list.
Okay. Here we go.
Number 1.
Number 1 is the Jets because they still haven't made the playoffs since. At least Minnesota had some kind of vision, and you're confident they could figure this out. The Jets can't figure out the most important position in football. We keep saying, when are they going to get their franchise guy? They identified and traded up for the guy, had no infrastructure to develop him. The Jets absolutely should be the team with the biggest Sam Darnold regrets. He was theirs first before he was a Viking, long before.
Couple of reasons why your list is sad. That's what I would say. I would say it was a sad list.
It's trolly.
It's a trollingly sad list.
Sometimes the truth could be trolly, but whatever.
Number 1, you include the Browns for taking Baker Mayfield, but you don't include the Giants for taking a running back. That shows your bias.
Well, the Giants didn't necessarily need a quarterback.
Come on, Teak.
And hold on, Evan.
Of course they did. They knew it was near the end for Eli.
Okay, how old was Eli?
Later they're taking a court 36, 37.
Okay. These guys play till they're 40 nowadays.
That's not even the argument. The first 2 teams were the Jets and Vikings. What do they have in common that's not in common with the Giants?
Oh, my God. You just got Jackson Dart 5 minutes ago.
Okay. The Giants have a quarterback. I'm no longer worried about what they don't have Jackson Dart if they have Sam Darnold. Jackson Dart's better.
So if they had not drafted Jackson Dart, if we had done this list a year ago, okay, it was a year earlier because instead of Minnesota flaming out, they were going to the Super Bowl. Would you have included the Giants on the list?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. The changes. That's my whole reason the Jets are 1 is they still haven't figured out quarterback years later.
Yeah, but Carolina has a quarterback.
But that was also the argument about the Saquon thing. Who had it worse? Because the Giants kind of fixed their running back room after Saquon left. The Jets have yet to fix their quarterback room.
I know, but it took the Giants 7 years to, fix their quarterback room with Jackson Dart. I think that, the Giants need to be on the list, especially if you're going to put Cleveland there. And number 2, and I think this is the proof that as mad as some Jet fans may still be about Sam, Minnesota has it worse. If we swooped in to Minnesota Sports Talk Radio, I bet the Viking fan is looking around saying, what the hell? And they're more pissed off than the Jet fan is right now.
Just so you know, Evan, Daniel Jones wasn't all horrible.
I know.
So it's not like the Jet situation. It's not like the Cleveland Browns situation.
Well, the Cleveland Browns weren't all horrible, too, because Baker Mayfield got them to the playoffs. They've been in the playoffs more often than the Giants have since the Sam draft. So let's be fair then.
They jettisoned him.
Okay, and you guys jettisoned Daniel Jones, who you just brought up.
And who do you have more confidence right now between the Jets and Vikings that they will find a solution at quarterback quicker?
Sean, I have more confidence in my 5-year-old playing Madden and finding a quarterback that way than the Jets do.
Thank you. So I don't understand this argument. It's like Jet fans know they stink. They know the organization stinks. They know that this is a disaster. They think it sucks that Sam Darnold's there. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't root for him and shouldn't want him to succeed. But like, it's as if I'm breaking news to any of you. You all agree, but just want to fight me because the message is coming from me. It's a disaster that Darnold developed elsewhere.
We all agree it's a disaster. We don't agree that when he led the Vikings to 14 wins a year earlier and they let him go for J.J. McCarthy, we don't agree that that's less of a disaster than a decision the Jets made a half a decade ago.
Okay,
that's
but they're both
difference.
Disasters. But they're both disasters.
Okay,
the difference is the
Sean,
organization changed. Like, so that makes you feel better. Go, well, Minnesota did it worse than us. Like, it still sucks what the Jets did.
No one's saying we feel better. We're merely saying the Vikings are number 1. You're putting words and emotions in our mouth. I'm not saying I feel great. I'm not saying all is right with the world. I'm not making excuses for the Jets. We've gone all over their mistakes. I'm merely saying the Vikings' mistake was bigger. It was more recent, and it was more apparent because they had success with Sam. The Jets didn't have any success. It's not to defend their moves. It's just that the Vikings had it worse. I'm sorry. It's not even close. It's the Vikings 1. It's the Jets 2. And the Giants need to be on the list. Even if they're not, I'm not putting them ahead of the Jets. I'm not doing anything like that, but I'd put them 4 or 5 maybe. I'd include them.
Listen, all I know is there is a franchise with Sam Darnold quarterbacking them and Leonard Williams leading them in sacks in a Super Bowl right now. But you know what? That's all the Minnesota Vikings disaster. Okay.
All right. Whatever. I'm going to make everybody laugh. Can I at least do that to break the tension now?
Yes, what do you got?
Do you want to hear the Ryan Ruocco thing from the from the Knicks game over the weekend?
Yes.
So the Knicks are playing the Sixers. Obviously, Knicks won the game. We're not going to break down the game. But the Philadelphia 76ers have a backup big man on their roster whose last name is Boner. I'm just saying. He plays about 12 minutes a night. His name is Adem Bona. Okay, he's from Nigeria, second-round pick a couple of years ago. There was a foul called, and PJ Carlesimo and Ryan Ruocco were breaking down the call, and if it was the right call. Listen to what Ryan Ruocco, I got you, Ryan. Listen to what Ryan Ruocco slipped in.
I agree. Very seldom disagree with Tony Brothers, but I thought Adem Bona did a good job on that screen.
Bona held stiff and yet got called for it. Robinson slams
Like
it
that.
down.
Did you catch that? Did you hear that one?
Yes.
Did you catch that during the game, or did that go over your heads?
Way over my head. I was not
Bona
nearly
held
as locked in to
stiff
pick up on that.
Right.
Play that one more time, Connor.
I didn't have to call you, so I missed all of this. That's amazing, though.
Now, I'm going to be open and honest with you. It went over my head, too. Someone at this radio station gave me a heads up. I don't know if that person wants the credit, but I don't know if Al Cintron wants credit or not credit, but some would say that Al Cintron gave me the heads up. And I was like, really? I missed that. And I go back. I found it immediately, and I was like, damn that Ryan Ruocco. He's good. Now, do you think he did it on purpose, or do you think that was a...
Oh, he absolutely did it on purpose.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's because he was set up for it. Like, if it's coming out of, I don't know, thin
Careful.
air. It's, right. But if it materializes out of thin air, that's one thing. But he's set up by PJ. So it's not saying that they planned it, but as PJ's talking about a boner,
Bona held stiff.
then it's easy to go right into it.
My gut is, and I don't know if Ryan or Ian Eagle would admit this, I think they probably jot down a couple of things about players' names and say, hey, if it's ever useful, I got this in my back pocket.
No, I don't think you jot it down. I think it's just you think about it, and then it's in your head, and so if it ever comes up, it just pops into your consciousness.
Jeez, you're having fun over there. Yes, it came up. Good job, Ryan Ruocco. We see you, Ruocco. We see you, and we love you. Let's get back to your calls. 888-808-1019 is the number. Let's go to Gavin, who's calling from Woodbridge. What's up, Gavin?
Hey, Evan. Hey, Tiki. How's it going?
We're good.
Good. So
I don't know if you remember, but I called last week. We were talking about the Patriots road. You ended that call asking me, if this is not the easiest road, then what is? Mm-hmm. I'd love to put the 2019 Chiefs on the table. Their road was Texans, Titans, and then a 49ers team led by Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl. My one question, though, and I'll hang up and listen, is has there been a harder defensive road than this year's Patriots? Because I think these four teams are all in the top five.
That is fair. I mean, I think when you just strictly look at that side of the ball, they certainly had to go through some toughies. But I think what you are not factoring in enough is, as flawed as the Tennessee Titans feel years later, this was a backup quarterback who hadn't played all season, who started for Denver. That is a huge line, and that's disrespectful to Ryan Tannehill. I know we all don't love him, and we all don't think he's great or what have you, but there is a huge difference, Teak, between a Ryan Tannehill playing his best football and what we saw yesterday with Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, I think his last point is the better point. Like, it's one thing when you know that the offense that you're playing against can't hurt you, right? The difference in the Super Bowl for the Patriots is that the Seahawks offense can hurt you. Jackson Smith and Jigba and this play design, Kubiak, that we've been talking about a little bit, it's been unbelievable all season long. They can score 30 on you, 35 on you, whereas some of these other teams that the Patriots played in the regular season and in the postseason, you weren't necessarily worried about getting 35 points dropped on you. But they have played really good defenses. The Texans' defense was great. The Broncos' defense was leading the league in sacks, and they got after Drake May. Hell, he only had 86 yards passing in the game. And so it's all about the balance of the team. And if you're gonna consider the balance of the team, they played some hellified defenses.
Jim is out in Aspen, Colorado. What's going on today, Jim?
Hey guys, good afternoon. I listen on the Odyssey app. Tiki, it's an honor.
Thank you, man.
I've been big Giants and Mets fan. Was listening to you guys talk about the weather and in the Northeast. So I'm a Giant fan out here, transplanted, married to a Bronco fan. They predicted to the hour when the weather was going to change all week. So
wow.
My question is, why wouldn't the NFL, big business, start this game 1 hour early? It's a 2:00 East Coast start. If it was lightning, they would have delayed the start of the game.
I got an easy answer for you, because everyone in that stadium is a prop. And since they're going to get there on time and they'll be there and everybody's there to put this thing on TV where 50 million people are going to watch, they don't really care about what happens at the end. They care about the TV show going on the time that they want, which is 3 o'clock, which is what they always do. The 6:30 starts for the championship game. And so, long answer short, they don't care. They just needed it to start on time. I think if it was earlier, that'd be more of an issue because they don't want an empty stadium. They don't want this to be the pandemic all over again, obviously.
Right.
But since everyone was able to get there, quite frankly, I don't think Roger Goodell cared.
No, I think you're right. It's all about the advertising dollars too for television. Like they're trying to maximize when people are going to be watching on a Sunday, and this doesn't apply to everybody, but a lot of people in church, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people have other things going on, maybe not in the Northeast because of the weather, but in the travel. But it's a big deal to set these things up when people are back home and hanging out, as opposed to rushing because you're leaving a service or something.
No doubt. By the way, I have to tell you a very weird story that started to unfold while we were on the air on Friday. John DeMarsico, I think is how you pronounce his name. Mm-hmm. He was the longtime director of the Mets broadcasts. And he gained a great reputation because the Met broadcasts on SNY were really, really cool. They would feature like movie-type features. Like he would have these how do I even describe it? I'm so bad with words on movies because I know so little about movies.
So it was like it's like the wipes. Like when you wipe into another scene, it doesn't just flash. It kind of overlays, and it has all these elements that do transitions like you see in movies. And it was actually really cool. And it's funny because I remember watching these things and not realizing it. And then when it was brought to my attention, I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, you just come to expect it in movies, but you don't see it really at all in sports. And the Mets in SNY did a heck of a job if you really sat down and watched a game start to finish.
He was unbelievable.
In fact, remember that whole story over the summer when SNY drastically outrated Yes during the Subway Series? You remember that?
That was a reason why, right? Wasn't that an argument?
It was like within a week, the Yes Network suddenly started to do stuff like that, and the production, like the B-roll of like the Yankee Stadium overhead, like the pretty cinematographic stuff that never existed on Yes suddenly existed after that story.
So, Guy did a brilliant job. We all agree with that. So he puts out this statement on Friday.
If you're watching us on YouTube, Cap is doing that to us, or Gallo, whichever.
Is he really?
Yeah. It's pretty damn cool, actually.
Oh, very cool. So everyone liked this guy, like in terms of the job that he did. So he releases a statement on Friday. I'll just read a very small part of it. Over time, as the broadcast continued to evolve, it became clear that its future was moving in a different creative direction. Coming to terms with that hasn't been easy, especially when the work mattered this much and felt so deeply tied to who I am. Mets baseball and the community around it became a part of my identity in ways I'm still processing. This doesn't just disappear because a chapter ends. I've never been a free agent before. I've been taking a breath, looking ahead, carrying a lot of pride, blah, blah, blah. So basically he tells us there's a creative difference. I, like many others, tweet out this story and say, boy, I think this sucks. As the weekend went on, Tiki,
they changed.
Rumors, and they are still rumors because I have no idea what happened, okay? But rumors started to emerge that he was not let go because of creative differences, but there was some kind of scandal involving, and this is all alleged, involving him and an inappropriate relationship and credentials, and I don't know. Mm-hmm. And so by Saturday, I'm getting texts like, have you heard the rumors? And I don't know if they're true. I still don't know if they're true.
Right.
But I made the decision that maybe I should take down my tweet.
Oh, wow.
Which I never do.
This will never be a toasted and posted.
I mean, you can make it a toasted and posted, but I'm being honest, like pretty much everybody else. I have no idea. I still don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But there was enough rumors for me to say, I'm not going to tell you he's guilty because I don't know. I'm just going to delete it.
I don't think he did anything illegal.
Not illegal, but maybe unsavory, Teak.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. You don't, you know what where you eat type of thing.
And there's more to it, but I don't want to go through the rumors because I, again, don't know if it's true.
Right.
I just know enough, and I think this is the approach we all have to take, to just call a timeout and say, I'm going to remove myself from this because I don't know what happened.
Right, but even though you are going to miss the production value because it was really good.
That goes without saying, but if there was a breakup and it had nothing to do with creative differences, but it had to do with an inappropriate relationship or whatever else happened, then I totally get why he's gone. Mm-hmm. So I'm still seeing Met fans fight about this on social media. Like, I got Met fans who are like, I don't care. He's great. And it's like, okay, he was great at his job, but we now don't know what actually happened. And so my advice to my fellow Met fans.
Not fair. Speculating is not fair to anybody involved.
Exactly. That's why my best advice is just get out of the argument. Just move on. Yeah. and let the facts come out if they ever do come out, because maybe we'll never know. I don't know. So,
you two just played a wild game of Inception where you took one segment on the show and made it into another segment on the show. The segment, fellas, is posted and toasted, not toasted and posted, which now will have to be on Idiots with Idioms on Friday because you can't get the original segment right.
Yeah, but toasted and posted is not, or posted and toasted. Posted and toasted. Yeah, posted and toasted is not an idiom that anybody talks about.
But it's our idiom.
Yes.
You can't get our own idiom wrong, both of you.
Wait, who got it wrong? Did we both get it wrong?
You said, Evan, you went toasted and posted, and Tiki went, yeah, toasted and posted. And I went, you're both 0 for 2. It's our own segment. Now we got to put that in Idiots with Idioms.
That's true. Two segments have converged into one. Beautiful thing. We'll come back. We'll get back to your phone calls. A lot of opinions about what happened on Championship Sunday, even what the Jets and Giants are doing with their coordinators. So we'll get your phone calls. Plus, Mike McCarthy as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Does it make sense? 888-808-1019. We are taking you right up till the Carton Show with Craig Carton and Big Mac Chris McMonagle.
I am always on the go, always juggling so much, and I feel safety is the most important thing for my family, especially when I'm not with them. That's why I partnered with our friends at Sloman's, who recently installed the Sloman ShieldLink system into my home. It is a smart home security solution that combines safety, convenience, and peace of mind that I can manage all from the palm of my hand with my cell phone. Whether it's locking my doors if I forget or turning on my control lighting outside, it is amazing how easy and convenient it makes my life in protecting my home when I'm not there. Experience the future of home security and automation with the Sloman ShieldLink system. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit slomans.com today.
This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. We're 15 months out from the 2027 NFL Draft. Heck, we haven't even had the 2026 NFL Draft. But if you are on the march for Arch, as some of the Jet fans might be, a minor nugget is dropped this weekend. Arch Manning is undergoing what is being called a, quote, minor foot surgery. No details have been given as to what the surgery is and what the problem is with the foot, but it's being discussed as a preventive measure. So could Arch Manning have foot troubles awaiting him as he gets older in the NFL? I guess only time will tell.
The home of New York Giants football, The Fan.
Runs out of the tackle, down the right sideline, cuts inside at the 5, in for the touchdown!
1019 FM WFAN. WFAN FM. WFAN FM HD1 New York. An Odyssey sports station.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold has a chance to be the modern-day Jim Plunkett. A quarterback drafted very early who doesn't live up to promise with the team that drafted him, bounces around a bit before finding Super Bowl glory. Jim Plunkett did it with the Raiders in Super Bowl 15, and Sam Darnold has a chance to do it in Super Bowl 60 after 346 passing yards and 3 touchdowns against the Rams. What a story for Sam Darnold. I'm Nick Hostos.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you can put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues with UFC 325 live from Australia. Catch featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski in a rematch of his epic title fight against Diego Lopez, and the always dangerous Dan Hooker throws down with dynamic finisher Benoit Saint Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown. UFC fans, pay-per-view just got knocked out. Catch UFC 325 on Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus. Stream every fight live with one subscription. Visit ParamountPlus.com/UFC to get started.
Visit your local Kia dealers to discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. It's the perfect balance of quality, dependability, power, and style. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on The Fan.
Introducing new Quick and Eat. Chicken and lightly breaded in grilled chunks. Delicious and so easy to prepare. Quick and Eat, now in the frozen food aisle at your neighborhood ShopRite store.
Something big just rolled into 7-Eleven. Meet our 4 new Johnsonville sausages. Hot and ready on the roller grill. Smoky cheddar, loaded with Wisconsin creamy cheddar smoked with real hardwood chips. Jalapeno cheddar. Bold and melty cheddar with a spicy jalapeno kick. Smoked Polish, seasoned with black pepper and garlic, slow smoked for serious flavor. And Ultimate Italian, bursting with basil, oregano, rosemary, and thyme. Right now at 7-Eleven, get any 2 roller grill items for just $3.50. That's any 2 roller grill items for $3.50 at 7-Eleven. Valid through 3/3/26. Participating stores only. While supplies last. Visit store for full terms.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win. So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then.
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
I hope that Alliance Orthopedics stands for the way healthcare should be performed.
Alliance Orthopedics COO Dr. Brian Aquaro on what makes Alliance Ortho New Jersey so special.
We have the team members, the ability, the passion to really become something that everybody else is not doing.
Alliance Orthopedics gets you better every day. Check the reviews. You will restore function and reduce pain quicker at New Jersey locations locations near you.
And I want patients to look at us and say, like, you have to go there because these guys are doing it right.
Experience getting better every day at allianceortho.com.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom with up to 40% off select faucets during our Bath Savings event. Need it today? Order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items, subject to availability. Fees vary. Visit Lowes.com/same-day delivery for full terms.
When this happened, you talked about it on The Fan.
I would like to introduce to you the next head football coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
We begin a new chapter in New York. Our focus is simple. It starts with building a team that is physical and tough, that's capable of overwhelming their opponent from beginning to end, and especially at the end, that understands how to finish.
When New York sports happens, talk about it here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
If you've missed any of this show, you got a few different ways to catch up. You can rewind on the Odyssey app. The entire show is also on YouTube, so you can log on to YouTube and just rewind it to the very beginning. Obviously, a lot of football on this busy Championship Monday. Mike McCarthy is going to be the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which on the surface makes sense because he's a Pittsburgh guy, and he's got a great resume, as we've talked about before. What I am having a tough time getting over is how unique this is in Steeler history. And just a quick perspective on this. Chuck Noll coached the Steelers for 23 years, and he retired at the age of 59. Bill Cowher coached the Pittsburgh Steelers for 15 years, and he retired at 49. Mike Tomlin coached the Steelers for 19 years, and he has, at least for now, retired at the age of 53. So all pretty similar, long runs, and their careers ended sometimes in their 50s. Cowher 49, Tomlin 53, and Noll 59. Mike McCarthy is 62. So Mike McCarthy is taking over a job at an older age, significantly older, much more so than for Cowher and Tomlin, significantly older than when they retired. He's taking over a job at a much older age, almost double the age of when those three guys were hired. And he's also taking over a job that has a track life or track record of 23 years, 15 years, and 19 years. And for him, the last 15 years, which is on the low end, he'd have to coach until he's 77. And that's the part, like for any other team, I get it. It's a great hire, but it is so different, Teak, from what the Steelers have done that's the thing I'm having a tough time understanding.
But I think this could be an understanding of a new era of our sport as it pertains to how coaches are hired and retained. Because we know this happens every 4 or 5 or so years. The league changes, right? What worked in Mike Tomlin's early years, at least offensively with Ben Roethlisberger, they wasn't working at the end of his tenure. And so maybe you start to say, as great as the consistency is to have a coach last for a decade and a half, there might be a need for new ideas after 5 to 8 years. And so I think this could just be a changing of philosophy from the Steelers. Obviously, the Rooney family is heavily respected and one of the storied franchises in the NFL, but that doesn't mean that they're beyond change. And so I think that might be what's happening here.
I mean, it is as extreme a change as you can describe. I mean, to go, first of all those guys had a defensive background. All those guys were in their mid-30s when they were hired. All those guys lasted for between a decade and a half and 2.5 decades. And now you're going with a Super Bowl winning, proven head coach, offensive mind, who's in his 60s. It's just, it doesn't mean it won't work, because, Teak, you may be right. He comes there and they have a good 5-year run and all that, but it is just so geometrically opposed to what they've done.
No, you're right. And the next step is who is the coordinators, what's the staff look like, and who the hell is the quarterback? Because it seems like Aaron Rodgers might still want to play, though the last time we heard about these two together, it sounded like it was contentious, even though reporting is indicating that it's not contentious anymore.
Time heals all wounds, Tiki
Of course
Barber.
it does, especially when you really want to keep playing and you're Aaron Rodgers and he's 44 years old or whatever the heck he's going to be next year. And Mike McCarthy knows that I had success with him, and he didn't look washed last year. So what else am I doing? Like, who else is going to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, which is why the Steelers may be in the position that the Jets were oddly in a year ago of, okay, what gives them the best chance to win? And I remember when we had this debate a year ago with Rodgers, clearly the answer was Rodgers, but it was a rookie head coach. It was almost like, hey, we got to move on. We're not close to winning. The standards in Pittsburgh are very high, and I think they will continue to be high because you just hired a 62-year-old former Super Bowl winning head coach. Like, of course they're high. They didn't hire the new wonder kid. Like, they went out and got a guy who I would think keeps the expectations high that the Steelers at the bare minimum need to be a playoff team.
Yeah, no, it's interesting when a guy gets fired, it's almost like we're firing him because we need someone to take the next step. But in hiring Mike McCarthy, you're just hiring someone that's going to get him to the same step. So
yeah, probably.
It feels weird. Now maybe he surprises us all and actually is great in the postseason and the Steelers are a champion once again. But it's to be determined. We have to wait and see for that to happen.
Well, we got a battle going on between Mike McCarthy and John Harbaugh. Who will be the first head coach to win Super Bowls with two different teams? So I don't want to waste people's time because my counter would be, hey, guys, who has a better chance to win a Super Bowl, Mike McCarthy or John Harbaugh? But I already know your answers. So we could skip it, right? We can just move on.
I mean,
right,
who has
right,
the quarterback and who doesn't?
Yep. I'm not even disagreeing with you.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying either one. I'm just saying who has a quarterback and who doesn't.
The Giants have, I would feel, more of hope of having the quarterback than the Steelers do because their quarterback
the Steelers
is
got
old.
a Hall of Famer already.
He ain't staying there, though.
You think he's leaving?
Oh, he's going to be the Vikings quarterback next year. There's no doubt. It's either retirement or the Vikings. There is no way he is going to quarterback the Pittsburgh Steelers in that cold weather again where they coach. He basically couldn't wait to tell everybody he was on massage tables instead of being, in coach meetings for.
In this case, Sean, if we're doing a long-term prediction, and I'm sure agency bingo with the NFL like we've done with the coaches and like we did with baseball, I 1,000% agree with Sean on this. Yeah. I think that, because to bring it back to the Darnold conversation, to bring it all full circle, I think there is hell to pay in Minnesota right now. I would think that there are really uncomfortable conversations about, really, you moved on from Sam for this? And I think there, especially with the way the GM spoke at the end of the season, not committing to J.J. McCarthy, like I think it is obvious that they're going to go get a veteran quarterback. And I completely agree with you. If I had to put shekels on the line, the veteran quarterback they're going to get is Aaron Rodgers. As awkward as it is that he's following the Brett Favre script.
I like that.
So I agree with you.
Right. Who was the
Let's get to your calls,
It was
888.
Carson Wentz, right?
Yes, in Minnesota.
And then he got hurt. Right. And then he got hurt, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
He played. He got hurt. Yeah. Yep. It's not going to be him. He ain't going to be the starter next year.
No, you're right. You're probably right. It's not going to be Matt
Brosmer. No. I think Sean nailed that one. As soon as he said it, I'm like, you're probably right, just reading the tea leaves. But we'll get more into that as we get closer to free agency. Let's get back to your calls. Dominic is calling from New Rochelle. Good afternoon, Dominic.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? A couple of points here, if you can let me get them all in. One on the NFL. There's no great dominating teams anymore. If you told me the Patriots and Seahawks before the year were going to go be in the Super Bowl, I think you're nuts. The Patriots lost to the Raiders this year at home. Anyway, on the Rams, their defense fell apart during these playoffs. They got lucky versus Carolina, and Chris Shula played that secondary too soft in that zone coverage. They couldn't get off the field on third down. That's why they lost this game. And as far as Chris Shula goes, I think he could have hurt his chances as a head coach. They couldn't stop Seattle. And one on the Giants. I kind of figured Harbaugh would go for a former DB coach as their DC because he loves building up his secondary and focuses a lot on DBs.
Right.
Which is why I think they probably picked Caleb Downs at 5. But Harbaugh and his staff are going to revitalize the whole secondary, and he's notorious for it.
No, I think you're right about that. But just a Chris Shula thing, because I think that's what you were asking about, Evan. Like he was hot because of one, his closeness to Sean McVay, basically the same age, and they have the same kind of mannerisms and personalities as potential head coach, but Sean McVay as head coach. But I mean, he was compromised. His cornerback, Emmanuel Forbes. Remember we talked about him earlier in the year, how he had resurrected his career out in with the Rams after failing in Washington, first round pick. He was skinny kid. He just hasn't been good. And the punt that ultimately turned this game against the Rams was because Emmanuel Forbes did not even try to block the gunner. And so like little things like that make you look bad when it's not really the coach. It becomes the player. And so I think Chris Shula is still going to be a hot candidate. I don't think he's getting a job this year, but he's someone to keep an eye on.
Anyone associated with Sean McVay remains hot candidates, even if
doubt.
there's a disappointing loss in the NFC Championship game.
Right.
Greg is in Mastic Beach. What's up, Greg?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm coming to you live from what I'm dubbing the 2026 lunch break tour.
Nice.
You enjoyed my joke so much, last week I have a Weird Al, Billy Joel, Evan and Tiki parody that'll give me 30 seconds before my Super Bowl point.
Good.
Okay.
Here, we got it, right?
Yeah, go.
Evan and Tiki, they work at the Fed, and yes, they have plenty of pennies. And Mama Lou Gower left a note on the door. She said, Tommy, give Sean back his Twinkies. But Evan's hot takes gives you a heart attack. You ought to know by now. And who needs a house out in Hackensack when Morash lives right by the Nathans? And it seems such a waste of time, but the new time slot's okay. Good luck moving up, because I'm listening to Evan and Tiki in the midday.
Wow.
I like
Wonderful work, Greg. That's good stuff.
Here we go, right? I would like to believe that the NFL is not scripted. You guys were talking about that before. But if it is rigged, I thought this would be a great story to end it, right? Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl, fueled by a chariot of ayahuasca, and him and Tomlin get to ride off into the sunset like Elway did, ending on 2 in a row. I love you guys. Let me hear your thoughts.
Well, I think that's one of the counters when anyone ever says, if it's scripted, this is scripted, that is scripted. Right. Wouldn't we write a better script? I mean, wouldn't we come up with something better than the Patriots against the Seahawks again?
I mean, probably. Probably.
Yes, probably. You think this is... Look, the people in Boston should be thrilled, good for them. The people up in Seattle should be thrilled, good for them. And everyone watches the Super Bowl. But you don't think we could have come up, if we went into a writer's room, with 5 to 10 more appealing storylines?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other NFC team. Because, I mean, the Rams were compelling. Because Matthew Stafford, after, I don't know, years of just organizational ineptitude with the Detroit Lions, has crafted himself a Hall of Fame career. And so if he wins the MVP and then wins Super Bowl, he is a Hall of Famer. And so that's an interesting story. So it was almost there, but it kind of fell short.
How about Steelers Packers? How about Rodgers against Green Bay? How about that? That wouldn't have worked. The Micah Parsons obviously got hurt, but I assume that's part of the script, right? Is that what people claim? He's not really hurt. It's all part of the big script that they have.
Yeah, you can make a story out of any single one of these matchups. It's absurd. I have to get to some breaking news, though, real quickly, because it's going to blow my mind and really anger me, I think, for no reason. This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. This coming from Jordan Schultz. Shedeur Sanders has been added to the Pro Bowl roster as a replacement. That's it. That's the Fan Focus. Wow. Are we even trying with the Pro Bowl rosters anymore?
Are you kidding?
What are we doing?
Does nobody care? Is that the point? Nobody cares about the Pro Bowl anymore. Because in what world is Shedeur Sanders even close to being a Pro Bowler? I mean, it used to be something to be a Pro Bowler. Now, he can put this on his resume. When his Pro Football Reference page pops up 8 years from now, it's going to say Pro Bowler.
Yes.
And that makes no damn sense.
That's the concerning part, because for a long time, when you bring up the Pro Football Hall of Fame, one of the first things you go to is Pro Bowl and All-Pro.
Yes.
Fair or not, it's one of the basic metrics that are used. How can you use it
It
when
invalidates.
Shedeur
You can't.
Sanders, you can't?
They're invalidating all of those metrics.
That's
because this dude completed 57% of his passes and threw 10 interceptions to 7 touchdowns last season.
I am not up to date on the Pro Bowl rosters, so I don't know, Sean.
I just want to know I want to know how many people said, who said no?
Well, this has to be the AFC side. Remember this. So this is why you're not getting a Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, who are both nominated for Rookie of the Year. So my
no, but
guess
Jackson Dart was not a Pro Bowler, correct?
No, he was not. So
that's what's pissing you off. You're pissed off that Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler and Jackson Dart is not.
So, I mean, definitely a part of it because it'll be like, well, look, this guy made the Pro Bowl. But the AFC side, all right, I get it. Josh Allen's not going to go. Bo Nix broke his foot. Drake May's in the Super Bowl. But,
what's his name? Mahomes is
Mahomes? I guess my question would be, now that Shedeur got picked, and it's going to sound like a throwback, was the next option Brady Cook after this? Who was left that
Justin
you could even...
Fields. He only threw one interception.
Think about it. If you could go down the list in the AFC, who is left that Shedeur was picked here?
Yeah. The funny thing is,
I mean, how many people had to say no? So let's just go through the list. So
I'm fascinated by this.
Drake May is unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Josh Allen said no, or maybe he's going there and they need a backup or whatever. So Josh Allen.
Okay.
There was nobody in Miami, nobody
fine.
in New York. Aaron Rodgers must have said no. Lamar Jackson must have said no.
Joe Burrow.
Trevor Lawrence said no. Joe Burrow said no.
Even C.J. Stroud, I know he had a terrible postseason, but his regular season
Daniel
numbers
Jones can't do it.
Dude, Cam
Bo
Ward
Nix
wasn't
can't do
better.
it.
Cam Ward wasn't better. He was in the AFC.
Yes, of
Come
course
on.
he was.
What are we doing here?
Wow, that's bad. That's a
Did
bad look.
Josina Anderson take over all the voting? I don't understand what happened here.
Wow. So we live in a world, ladies and gentlemen, where Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler and Jackson Dart is not.
It's not even about Jackson Dart. It's just the whatever the
Tiki.
grossness of that accolade anymore.
It's not about Jackson Dart for you. It's about Jackson Dart for Sean over there.
It isn't I get what you're saying because I just know I'm separate. This is the AFC thing. It's just more along the lines of they make it so hard to accept some stuff. I don't even dislike Shedeur Sanders. He's not a Pro Bowler. What are we doing?
That's funny. That made me laugh. That's the
It's
first
a
time I've laughed.
joke.
That and you calling Boomer Mamdani are my two favorite parts of the day today.
All right, I'm going to once again say I was saying thank you, Mamdani, because his rules allowed me to work from home today. That's why I said thank you, Mamdani.
Okay.
Thank you, Mamdani. He let the kids work from home. I'm doing home.
Let's go to Victor in Sacramento. What's up, Victor?
Hey, real quick, very happy for Mel Kiper with Shedeur going to the Pro Bowl, but just real quick, Evan, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but the refs, right? Just 2 quick points. Yeah. The Bo Nix 4th and short, the Stidham pass that was ruled a fumble, and then the Cooper Kupp close first down. Guys, we have 5 to 10 minute review breaks during the regular season where, so far less calls are made. How about the refs take their time and actually review it, okay? And then, Tiki, a quick question for you, right? So I loved how you always scored a touchdown. You acted like you were there before, the Victor Cruz salsa, all of that, right? And I'm not saying the refs didn't make the right call, but, guys, these are grown men. How is trash talking a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty?
Yeah.
But after every interception, it's like they're putting on the talent show. Thanks, guys.
That's a good point. It's especially because if you intercept the ball on the 10, the long way away, these guys run 80 yards to go pose in the end zone.
Yeah.
And it's usually to the camera. I think the reason that Reek Woolen got a penalty, a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty, was because he was taunting directly to the sideline.
Yes.
Right. The whole look at me, I'm going to run the length of the field and go celebrate with my teammates. You're not really taunting anybody. You're actually playing to a crowd. Whereas if you're screaming and who knows what else you're saying to a sideline, that's exactly the rule.
My biggest issue, and what I said earlier about the officials, was that I appreciated that they were not throwing a lot of flags. And Tom Brady had that great line that we played earlier where he said, I don't want to throw it unless there's blood. And it made me laugh, even though Tom's a hypocrite, because when he was playing, you look at him the wrong way, he wanted a flag thrown. But I guess that's the competitor in him. The only play that really bothered me and really jumped out at me as, hey, I got an issue with it, was the first down that was upheld. On the 4th and 1 from the 8-yard line, they did a quarterback keeper with Drake May. And for the life of me, he looked short.
Yeah.
And the over-the-head view made it look like he was short. And Sean Payton threw a challenge flag. He challenged it. And they went to commercial break, which I hate, by the way. I mean, just keep it right there so we can see all the angles 15 times and then get the announcement live as opposed to, oh, by the way, while you were gone, the play was upheld. Drives me nuts, and they all do it. But I saw evidence that he was short. All you got to do is look at the over-the-head camera view. He looked short, and that was such a huge play because 3 plays later, Borregales hits the 23-yard field goal, which turns out to be the difference in the game. Patriots win 10-7. That call changes the entire game, and I do think that was the one call that jumps out at me as really, really bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it also was early enough before it was a crap show with the snow that it felt like it was going to make that big of a difference. It was just an early play in the second half. And then
it was, but it was the difference in the game.
Right, but ultimately it became the play that you look at in the second half because of how the weather turned so quickly.
But he was also short. I mean, let's just be honest.
The problem with the overhead, though, is that sometimes the angle is wrong. It's not directly overhead because that camera isn't always pulling on the whatever that wire is. It's not always looking directly down. It looks like it's looking directly down, but it could be at a slight angle. So it's hard. And that's why they need the chip in the football. And I know it's there. I don't think they use it, though. That's what pisses me off about some of these decisions is that you have the technology existing and you're not using it. You're still using visual, evidence in order to make a determination.
We'll come back with more of your calls, 888-808-1019, Evan and Tiki, until the Carton Show at 2 o'clock.
Back when I played, creatine was a locker room secret. Players knew about it, trainers knew, but the fans didn't. But now the secret's out. Creatine boosts strength, speeds up recovery, and even helps brain health. That's why I take GAT Sports' new Creatine Chews. 5 grams per serving. No sugar, no shaker, and no mess. Save 30% off your first bottle at gatsport.com with code TIKI30. That's GAT sport.com with code TIKI30. GAT Sports Creatine Chews. Fuel up, compete harder.
And this portion of the program is sponsored by Downtown Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. And this Odyssey Sports Minute is brought to you by Dr. Jay Shaw at Samwell Institute for Pain Management. Visit samwellpain.com.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
The New England Patriots will meet the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 60. Mike Vrabel in year one with the Patriots completes the turnaround with a team that only won 4 games last year. It's the 11th trip to the Super Bowl since Robert Kraft has owned the franchise, most in NFL history. New coach, new quarterback, same excellence from the best franchise in the NFL. I'm Chris Black.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom with up to 40% off select faucets during our bath savings event. Need it today? Order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items, subject to availability. Fees vary. Visit Lowes.com/same-day delivery for full terms.
Hey, Jeff, looks like your business is really booming, even in a tough time for businesses like ours.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, thanks to LendSeek, our business was able to take care of some outstanding bills and taxes and to purchase inventory and expand our product lines.
Wow. You know, my business needs working capital, but only from a reputable company that I can trust and count on. How does LendSeek work?
Fast and easy. Just apply at lendseek.com. Their AI lending platform gave my business access to over 100 funding programs with one simple application. And it costs nothing to apply.
At lendseek.com, you can receive business funding with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. Whatever your funding needs are, seek no more. Our AI lending marketplace has you covered. If you've been in business at least 1 year with annual revenue of at least $250,000, you could get the funding your business needs in as little as 24 hours. There's no obligation, so apply today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then?
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
I hope that Alliance Orthopedics stands for the way healthcare should be performed.
Alliance Orthopedics COO Dr. Brian Aquaro on what makes Alliance Ortho New Jersey so special.
We have the team members, the ability, the passion to really become something that everybody else is not doing.
Alliance Orthopedics gets you better every day. Check the reviews. You will restore function and reduce pain quicker at New Jersey locations near you.
And I want patients to look at us and say, like, you have to go there because these guys are doing it right.
Experience getting better every day at allianceortho.com.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Question: what business couldn't use extra income? Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Right now, Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner with ambitious New York businesses to become Amazon Hub partners. You and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area when it's convenient for you. With each package delivered, your business gets paid. Sign up at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
Okay, get this. Now at Wendy's, you get to go biggie with new Biggie deals. That means going biggie with the $4 Biggie Bites, biggier with the $6 Biggie Bag, or biggiest with an $8 Biggie Bundle. So now you can choose and customize your Biggie deal. As you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More Biggie options so you can get more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
When this happened, you talked about it on The Fan.
I would like to introduce to you the next head football coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
Wow, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that very much. And what an honor. What an exciting moment.
When New York sports happens, talk about it here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Two pieces of information before we go to your calls. Number one, the Empire State Building does this every year. This is not new. This is not something unique for this year. I remember a couple years ago when the Eagles won the NFC, they go out on Twitter and they're like, hey, here are the Eagles color on the Empire State Building to honor the NFC champions. And we all freaked out. Well, they did it again last night. They were honoring the Patriots. Same whatever that word is, people were pissed, whatever that phrase is.
Outrage?
Outrage, thank you. Yeah, same
Okay.
outrage. This is their gimmick. This is their shtick. They are now in a relevant building in a great city, and the way they get attention is by tweeting out, look, we're congratulating Philly. Go yell at us. We're congratulating the Patriots. It's what they do. So don't get mad about it. The other piece of information, this is so weird. And by the way, this is just more evidence that Major League Baseball is so stupid. Why would you announce this today? But MLB The Show, the very popular video game, has announced that they will not be, let me see how they word this. We know that you're just as excited as we are for the release of MLB The Show 26. So we wanted to let everyone know that this year we have decided that we will not have a new cover athlete. Please stay tuned to all of our social channels for more information to come. So I don't know if that means they're running back what they did last year, which was a collection of young players, or if it's someone from the past, or if it's just going to be like the MLB logo and it's not going to be any cover athlete. So they've tried to add mystery to the MLB The Show cover athlete. My advice would be just don't release this on the Monday after Championship Sunday. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, does it matter who's on the cover?
Yes and no.
You're buying it for the game. I guess some people might be buying it for a collector's item, a piece of memorabilia, potentially get it signed by whoever that cover athlete is, and it has some monetary value to it. But does it really matter? It's a game.
No, it doesn't matter to me. I think maybe there's a pride aspect, like, oh, Juan Soto's the cover athlete, yay, or Aaron Judge is the cover athlete, yay, or Cam Schlittler is the cover athlete. So I think there's probably some pride in it, but as a grown adult, it does not matter to me. But just wanted to pass that piece of news out there for everybody out there.
Do you have the other baseball news, Evan?
I do not have any other baseball news. Is it good?
Your boy Harrison Bader finally has a home after being talked about a bunch of the Mets and Yankees.
Oh, can I guess?
Sure.
My opinion is I hope it's not the Phillies. The Phillies could use him. It would be a smart move to bring him back. So really, my opinion is ABP, anyone but Philadelphia. And so if you tell me it's someone else, I'll be good. If you tell me it's Philly, there'll be a level of disappointment. The floor is yours.
According to Ken Rosenthal, it is going to be the San Francisco Giants.
Nice.
2-year deal, so he'll soon be having lunch with Jackson Dart. There you
Nice. That's right. That's right. Okay, good. I like that. Phillies don't bring back Bader. That's a stupid move. But you know what? It's not my problem. I mean, it's not my issue. All right, let's get back to your calls. Let's go to Franco out on Staten Island. What's up, Franco?
Hey, long-time listener, first-time caller to your show.
It.
And thank you, Tiki, for a 65-year-old avid Giants fan. Thank you so much for the memories that you've given me, and hopefully in the next couple of years we'll have some more good memories too.
Thank you, man.
So what I'd like to talk about is the Giants' free agency and the draft, and just give a quick opinion on who I think we should after in free agency. I like to play GM, although I've never played football before, and then give an observation from open practices that I always go to, and ask you a question in your opinion. So my opinion on who to go after in free agency is Tyler Lindenbaum, and it's based on that since all offensive line get lumped together, the franchise tag is way higher than what centers usually get. The franchise tag's $27 million, so it's going to be hard for the Ravens to keep him. I'd go after him strongly. And then the observation is that when I went to open practice, the two people that really have stood out to me over the years, first one was Odell Beckham. He was been 5 to 10 feet away.
I think we're losing you, man, but I get like Odell Beckham Jr. at practice probably was incredible to watch because I'm sure some of the ridiculous one-handed catches. And by the way, how about the one-handed catch that Nigba made yesterday? I know I screwed up his name.
Yeah.
Jackson Smith
Right.
Najigba. That was unbelievable. That one-handed catch staying in bounds on a third down.
That one's almost easier because you're moving in the same direction. You know what I mean? So it's like you catch up to it, your hand sticks, and your body's going in the same direction as the ball. So the momentum of the ball is not stopped immediately. You know what I mean? It just kind of carries with it, and your hand goes with it. Yeah. It was still very controlling. It didn't move an inch. But I think when you stop a ball, like it's forward momentum, the inertia just is stopped by your hand. That's harder.
Let's go to Brian in Garden City. Hey, Brian.
Hey, what's up, guys? My wife is a meteorologist, and I'm from Boston, and we both worked at the local NBC news station there. And Belichick would call us. All his people would call when he wanted very specific forecasts for games and how to get through it. And it was, I mean, I'm not saying she didn't always give her best, but that was the real forecast she would give. Plus, it helps out when I'm betting unders. But
would he ever, Brian? Would he ever get upset? Would he ever get upset if she got it wrong though? Like would he ever call back and be like, "Dude, what up? What up?"
His people would send very elaborate thank you notes and some swag. But he was once he found the right meteorologist to ask when she nailed a couple, it was more intense than we expected.
That's crazy. I mean, that's smart. And that's a part of Bill's reputation about attention to detail and knowing everything. And who knows, maybe Mike Vrabel from the Belichick, he's not from the Belichick tree, but played for Bill. Maybe Mike Vrabel found a turncoat in Denver to give him specific weather forecast updates. And maybe he kind of knew more than Sean Payton what to expect in the fourth quarter of this game.
I mean, maybe. It's the details should be known about every little thing that could impact the game. Weather is definitely one of them.
No doubt.
So I can't imagine that either one of these coaches didn't have an idea. I think they were just hoping that it wouldn't become an issue and then ultimately it did.
Shane in Manhattan. Good afternoon, Shane.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good.
Hey, I was calling because I wanted to talk about your discussion about what's worse, Saquon or Darnold. And I think the one thing you haven't mentioned why Darnold is worse is because not only is Darnold a quarterback, but you guys passed up a chance to make the trade with San Francisco to trade that number 2 pick for 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick, which would have given you the 12th pick, which means the Jets would have got Micah Parsons.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned it, not specifically that, but we did mention the alternate history of if they had held on to Sam, what the options were. We went through that draft in terms of trading back, getting the San Francisco offer because they really wanted Trey Lance, and maybe hitting on a couple of pieces. So, yes, that is an option. But we got to put ourselves back in those shoes, okay? Sam Darnold was already here for 3 years. He was about to go through another administration. He was about to enter his third different head coach. It is unique to get that many cracks at it. It just is. And so, yes, I always liked Sam. I was always partial to Sam. But even I, at that time, understood that they needed to move on. As much as there was hesitance in, hey, get him talent, get him real coaching, maybe we can see the best of Sam, I still sort of believed in him. It was always going to be difficult to run it back in year 4. And if you did run it back in year 4, Tiki, what would make you run it back in year 5? What would you need to see to run it back again?
Nothing, because this is still the 5th-year option, draft pick. So it's like you're basically renting him for a year to see if he's worth it, and then you're going to decide. Actually, you got to decide before the season whether or not you're picking up his 5th-year option. So you wouldn't have done it, and so it was a waste. You had to trade him ultimately, even though it still doesn't obscure the fact that the Jets still haven't found their quarterback. But I think the reality is that Sam probably needed a change of scenery more than anything. Like, why would Sam sit there and believe, this next staff, this third staff, is going to get me right.
No, and they wouldn't have.
For Sam, he needed to leave.
Absolutely. They wouldn't have. Let's be honest. In this world where they ran it back and they make this great trade, they move back, who knows what type of players they add. Let's also be honest about Sam Darnold under the Robert Saleh administration, under the Mike LaFleur administration. What do you think was going to happen? And that's all you need to know. The answer was it wasn't going to work, and it was going to delay the inevitable that they were going to move on and draft somebody else. Like, Sam said it in a lot of ways during his post game, because we played it much earlier in the show. You can rewind on the Odyssey app. When we played, the ghost question was brought up to him. Hey, the ghost, remember? And of course, he immediately says, yeah, I almost forgot about that. But he also said, I was young. And he was. He was 22 years old. He was a young man. I don't know if in this alternate history it ever would have worked out.
Right.
Just to be fair about it, as depressing as it is, because it is depressing when you think that a guy that I thought at one point was going to be our savior is now quarterbacking another team to the Super Bowl. That is depressing. I admit it.
It's only depressing, and this is what Sean's point was, and we keep going back to it, was because you haven't found the next guy.
Yeah.
The guys that have been brought in just haven't, for whatever reasons. Zach Wilson, obviously Aaron Rodgers. I don't think anybody really thought Justin Fields was that guy, but the choices in the subsequent years have been much less than inspiring.
And it's not just that they haven't found the next guy. I think if you polled most Jet fans and you asked them what's more likely when you draft your next quarterback, that he becomes a Sam Darnold elsewhere or that you actually hit, the answer would be probably ends up like Sam Darnold elsewhere. I think that's the scary part.
Yeah, it's scary that here we are years later and the situation feels as hopeless as it's ever been. I mean, I don't think any Jet fan is denying that. That's why any Jet fan arguing the Sam Darnold stuff isn't us trying to make ourselves feel better. We're already in a depressed state. Like, what the hell's the difference? I mean, Aaron Glenn is still the coach, and he decided after 1 year, everybody I hired sucked. Let me try this again. That's literally what Aaron Glenn is doing right now.
Yeah, that's not a good sign, because you know who else started their coaching career like that?
Who's
Brian Flores in Miami.
Yeah.
When it fell apart, even though he was a good coach too, and it fell apart because he fired people every single year.
Yep. Not a good sign.
Differences of opinion with everybody on that staff.
Greg is in Bridgewater. Good afternoon, Greg.
Hey guys. Hey, listen. I had a question before you guys were talking about, or Tiki mentioned there's a chip in the ball.
Yeah.
Is that like NFL or collegiate? That's all levels, or just in the NFL?
So they talked about this last offseason, and I'm assuming they did it because they've gotten rid of the chain gang, or the chain gangs are still there because it's for visual purposes. So you can see, like as a player, you can't see a line on a field that's generated because it's where it's on television. You see it on television. You don't see that. So the chain gang is there, but it's, from what I understood, it was the backup to artificially determining the spot of the ball or accurately determining the spot of the ball by a chip in the ball. And so I think it's still subjective though, because ultimately who places the ball is the line judge or the side judge, whichever side it's on. They come in, you see them with and by the way, it's always their upfield foot. So their upfield foot is where they're marking the ball, and they hold their hand up, they get the ball, and they put it down right at their foot. And so that part is still subjective. But what I'm arguing is that if there's a chip in the ball, now you have to put it on both ends of the ball so that it's where the tip is. Why not just do it objectively as opposed to subjectively? That's my point. If the technology is there, and by the way, it has to be there because we've seen this in tennis for 2 decades with the Hawkeye technology. Then why are we still worrying about where a referee or a line judge or a side judge marks a football?
No, you're right. If we have technology, let's get everything right. Why wouldn't we? Let's go to Cologne and Hawthorne, New Jersey. Hey, Cologne.
Hey, guys. Great show today. Guys, first of all, the MVP of the Patriots is Robert Kraft. Okay, for keeping the culture that Bill Belichick established and then getting Vrabel. And when the Jets, depressed Jets fan here, what the Jets messed up was, after, Bowles they had a chance to get Mike McCarthy and to develop Sam Darnold. They got Adam Gase. And the second year, Adam Gase lost the team, so that's why they had to fire him, because it was disappointing. So
no, I agree, man. I mean, Joe and I were screaming on the radio about that immediately. Like, we wanted Mike McCarthy to replace Todd Bowles, and they didn't do it. They went with Adam Gase, which I thought was the worst possible hiring, and here we are. It was a colossal mistake. Now, what would have happened if they had hired Mike McCarthy instead of Adam Gase? I don't know. I mean, I assume there would have been a level of success. I don't know if it would have been this ultimate success.
Right.
But he would have had a better chance to succeed if you had a veteran coach like Mike McCarthy here than you did Adam Gase. And that is a first guess, because that was Joe and I screaming for months, to the point where we had to stop screaming because it's all we did. Why isn't McCarthy here? We got this clown Gase. Or as Joe calls him, Gase. Like, it's a disaster. What do you want me to tell you? Now I'm in pain thinking about it. I thought it was my back pain, but now it took 4 hours of this, and now I am sick to my freaking stomach that here we are. And the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Robert Kraft's the MVP. Okay, fine, he is. He's the greatest owner of all time, all these different Super Bowls, all the different coaches. Great. Now let me tell you something else about Bob Kraft, all right? It has nothing to do with massages down in Florida. And this is going to be irrational, okay? I promise you this. It's like the old joke I once heard about Bobby Valentine and Joe Torre. Woody Johnson and Bob Kraft are in heaven, and they meet God. And God gives Woody Johnson this nice house, nice cute house. It's nice, it's adorable, it's great. Woody looks up the hill and he sees this giant Patriot house. And he's like, what is this? Why is Bob Kraft getting such a bigger house than I am? And God says, oh, that's not Bob Kraft's house. That's my house. And the reality of this story is that God loves the Patriots.
Oh.
Did you get it? Did it all come along together yet?
I think there's a cleaner way to tell that story. We eventually got there, though. We did get there.
Well, I mean, Bob Kraft is in that house, and he thinks it's Bob Kraft's house, and God's saying, no, that's my house.
But that would indicate that Bob Kraft is God, not that God's a
that means
Patriot
Bob
fan.
Kraft is hanging out with God.
All right.
It means that God is a Patriot fan. Let it snow right when they have a 10-7 lead. Let's just let the starting quarterback of the team they're playing in the title game mysteriously get hurt. I mean, bro, and I know this is crazy, but it's the end of the show, and I'm going stir crazy, being in the house for 3 days. That's where I'm at right now. God's a Patriot fan. And by the way, one other thing, and Tiki, you know this, and Sean, you know this with multiple kids. I got to be fair. So I have been told that since I put Spence on the air, Jet would like to say a word. So Jet, whatever you want to say, the floor is yours. Let's make it quick because we got to go. And then it's the Carton Show with Big Mac and Craig. What's up, Jet? What do you want to say?
Do the fans like the new background?
That's a great question. Hey, guys, do you like the new background?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well, okay. Hey, Jet, are the Mets going to win?
I love how mature Jet sounds.
I know.
He's a very mature kid. He did all the shoveling this weekend. Jet, are the Mets going to win the World Series?
Not even close.
Not even close. Right. We're on a great track.
Raising some optimistic boys down there.
Mets suck.
I mean, did you hear our discussion around the Jets today and their future and where they are? Like, how could I raise optimistic boys when it comes to sports?
True.
What'd you say?
Make sure to give me dollars.
Yeah, make sure to give him dollars. Let me tell you right now, we're going to be in the studio tomorrow, all right? I can promise you that.
No matter what it takes.
That's right. Anyhow, great job by Connor Green. Fantastic. Great job by Sean calling Boomer Mamdani earlier this morning. That made us all laugh. And obviously, we'll be back live at 10 a.m. tomorrow. If you've missed any of the show, you can rewind it on the Odyssey app, or you can check out the show on YouTube. Okay, what else?
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Talk to you tomorrow at 10 a.m.